Before we get started with today's episode, we need to address a controversy. And it's a controversy that Jamie actually brought to my attention. And Noah, I don't know if you're familiar with this. It completely fell off of my radar. But we have in the past not shied away at really letting the Golden Globes know what we think of them and the Hollywood Foreign Press Organization. And I think our message has gotten through because I can't think of another valid reason why we were not nominated for Best Podcast at the Golden Globes this year.
Yeah, I think they're mad at us. It was crazy.
Mhm.
We've been blackballed.
We have. We've been blacklisted from Hollywood probably in general now. But like, was it worth it? I think yes.
Like Brando.
I don't know. It's a crazy snub. I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe it. And they had a bunch of nobodies.
Like, do you guys, like Amy
This random
Poehler.
woman one. Who is that? I don't even know who that is. Like, that was our award, low key.
Who the fuck is Will Arnett?
Yeah, who indeed is Will Arnett?
Where does he get the gall?
Wasn't he like the spokesperson for like Freedom Mobile for a hot minute? And now he's suddenly on for Best Podcast.
Awesome.
I think he was one of the siblings in Step Brothers, or not Step Brothers, Blades of Glory, the incestuous siblings.
So we were snubbed. Obviously, we are aware that the Hollywood Foreign Press nominated just podcasts with other celebrities talking to other celebrities, which legitimately is kind of boring and really bland.
Aside, it was a weird category, and it did ignore, I feel, a lot of podcasts that actually are like successful and relevant in their own merit, but it really was just people who are here anyways and happen to have podcasts.
What's also great though too, and like to drop the bit here, like obviously like TFCC, we're a small podcast, we'd never be considered, but they like there are like
your opinion,
legitimately like so many great categories of podcast. Like you can find a comedy podcast. There's things for like Roll20 and Dimension 20 that do shows like for D&D and fantasy RPGs. You have people that are doing like history and other things. Like there's so much, like you can find your niche in a podcast, and it was just all the same type of podcast nominated.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Joe Rogan to win a Golden Globe.
That's horrifying. He's coming back because Fear Factor never got one. He's coming back.
Yeah, this has been just a long ploy to get the Globe.
Get the Golden Globe. Noah, you want to do your thing?
Roll the intro.
Hello and welcome to 21st Century Cinema. It's the podcast about film and the film industry, and it's finally our long-awaited 6th season that we put on hiatus for who knows how long. By the time this episode gets out to you, hopefully this week. I'm one of your hosts, Joseph Delavecchia, and joining me, as always, is my lovely co-founder and also a mother to many, many mice. It's Jamie Crivello.
True, it's true.
And also... And also with us today, trying to avoid a rolling blackout, is Noah Shepherd, all the way out on the east coast of Canada. Hi, Noah.
Hey, how's it going? I just feel like every time we come back, we're back. I don't know if we were ever here.
We're back for real this time, okay? We can do it. It's manageable now, okay? Our time zones are fixed.
I think didn't we say the next episode was going to be like monkey movies?
Yes, we still have to do the monkey movie episode.
I still remember
we still need to do the monkey movie episode. I think the issue with the monkey movie episode is that Jamie still hasn't picked her monkey movie.
What? I did, didn't I? No?
I think you have. Me and Noah have picked ours because Noah picked the Robert, was it Redford one or?
No, Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Different guy. But I think I might change that and instead make you all watch the MVP trilogy, Most Valuable Primate.
We're not watching a trilogy of
we are. We're watching the trilogy. No.
When I said like National Geographic's Jungle School YouTube videos, that wasn't, you thought I was joking? Like, I don't understand. I definitely did say that as my choice, but that didn't count.
No.
It has taken us so long.
Keep what is art and what isn't. Okay, fine, I get it. Whatever.
It has taken us so long to get the monkey thing out. Hasn't Jane Goodall died?
I think she died before we were talking about it, though. I feel like it's been,
Okay.
maybe, like,
All
2
right.
years, yeah.
Maybe that's what brought it to our brain.
What's funny though is that like we let like followers vote. Like our followers finally engaged with something
Really?
online, and they voted for us to make a monkey movie episode. And we've just been like, yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll do it eventually. Also joining us today, we have a special guest, and usually I introduce the guests, but Jamie, I'll let you introduce this one since you seem to be a lot closer to this one than I.
All right, this is Evan.
Okay, good morning.
That's
First
not how
time-
we do. Okay, fine.
First time
This is Evan.
caller, long time listener, coming
Oh, yeah?
from the middle coast of Canada, on the coast of Lake Ontario here, the beautiful, beautiful coast.
On
It's,
the
uh,
opposite coast of me and Joe. No, opposite coast of Lake Ontario.
Yeah, yeah. But thanks for having me on.
Hi,
Hi,
Evan
hi.
MacGowan is joining us today, everyone. Evan, I appreciate that you have claimed to be a longtime listener. Can I know what's your favorite episode of 21st Century Cinema?
It has to be the monkey movie one.
Yeah.
The monkey movie
Unreleased.
it was a fan favorite. That's in the archives, I think.
I should have quit this show 2 years ago.
The leaks online, the speculation has been really electric for the monkey movie episode. So I'm hoping there's not a primate snub this year. I know that it just came out, so I don't know if it qualifies, but
It's taken us so long to get the monkey movie out. Ronald Reagan has died within the time.
Anyways,
Maybe for some
No
context for
segue.
listeners,
no segue.
Evan is my partner. That's what Joe meant by a lot closer.
Evan, it's good to have you on the show. I know we've talked about for a little while having Evan on the show. So, and I know Evan, you're also a big movie fan yourself. I think you have seen more of the nominated movies than I have possibly. But
interesting.
so before we jump in, something we have to address was we do this episode every year. This is the episode that started the podcast. It's our annual tradition where we break down the Oscar nominees. And last year we got some negative comments where someone was very upset with us that we hadn't watched every single movie, but we're daring to talk about the Oscars. And so I want to point out a few things. Number one is there's this thing called Timely, and also the Academy does whatever the fuck they want. We don't always know what's going to be nominated. We do our best to watch what we can. We really do. This is also not a full-time thing. I'm really sorry to disappoint the listeners. This year we have done our best. I believe there's only 2 movies not seen out of the 10 nominated. So like we have done really well this year, and we have a lot to talk about, but we will refrain from discussing those 2 movies, and we will not be giving any opinions on those. Jamie, go ahead.
Sorry, I had a comment, but I didn't want to interrupt, so I raised my hand. For audio listeners,
there is a raise hand button in this function. You can literally click this and now you have a hand.
That
Yeah.
come up in like the videos, but then I need to say for video listeners and audio listeners, I virtually raised my hand.
You can see what it looks like in the edit.
If you are listening now and you're like, damn, I really wish they watched all the movies, it is possible, but it would have to be our full-time thing. And so you would have to go to the Patreon.
Yes.
And
you'd have to
give us,
join
like,
Noah as the one patron
quite
of
a
the
lot
Patreon.
of money.
That's
And then
really
we'll
hitting
watch,
my back.
we'll watch all the movies. Maybe we'll soon do the monkey podcast episode. I don't know, but
And also,
maybe
too,
that'll help.
we're trying to get these out as soon as the nominations come out while everyone's talking about them. We do aim to see all the movies by the time the actual awards come out, which is why our post show usually is a lot more informative. The issue is no one ever listened to our post show, guys, so we cut it last year. We didn't do it.
I gotta be honest, guys. I'm not gonna see F1.
You don't have to.
You made a big promise. I'm not gonna watch that.
Which were the movies that we hadn't seen as
I
an
believe-
acknowledgement?
They are going to be Train Dreams and The Secret Agent, unless, Evan, you've seen either of those.
I saw Train Dreams this year.
Okay, there we go. So we
Oh.
only one. Look at that. 9 out of
Yeah.
10. Evan, you're invited back next year already. Look at that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, so we need to go through very quickly, though. We're changing up the structure a little bit this year. We're going to talk about the best directors first, and then we're going to go right into best picture, just because a lot of the best picture, there is a lot of carryover this year with our actors and actresses awards. And so we're just going to kind of group everything together and talk about the movies individually as we go through. We will still go through our snubs, but before we dive into that, there are a few things that will, of course, not be discussed with the little bit of gaps that are in that overlap. So we're going to talk about a few of those things right now. And the first thing is actually going to be a surprise. I didn't put it in here because I wanted it to be a genuine surprise from Noah. Noah, I'm going to apologize to you, and I'm going to retract the one thing I have said for the last 2 years on this show. You know what I'm about to say. I have fought with you on one thing about the Oscars 2 years in a row.
You're back. Yeah, you've been converted this year. You've been watching all of this stuff. Wouldn't Tim Robinson make a fantastic host of the Oscars?
Tim Robinson would make a fantastic host of the Oscars. Yeah, I concede.
Thank you. Finally, I've been vindicated.
Yeah. Chair Company was great. Friendship was great. When I was over visiting Noah in Newfoundland this summer, Noah showed me a few episodes of I Think You Should Leave.
Add Friendship to the Snubs document.
No, yeah.
It was the best.
It's number 10 on my top 10 movies of the year.
It was the best thriller of the year.
Sinners Who? Friendship, guys.
Yeah. Bring
yeah. Another thing to also acknowledge is that we will not be covering animation this year. Every year, kind of the tradition is that Noah is our resident animation guy. He watches the animation movies, gives the opinion of the podcast. Noah, you only watched one of the movies this year.
Yeah.
However, granted, it is the one that is going to win. K-pop Demon Hunters is going to win. We all know.
There is another one that I've forgotten the name of that may win in the shock upset, but it's almost definitely going to be K-pop Demon Hunters that wins. That is the one that I saw. It was really good. I quite enjoyed it. I know the children have been enjoying it, and yeah, I don't know. It's I think it was 2 years ago that we had just that absolute packed animation year with Boy and the Heron one, and then you had, I think it was Nimona.
Maybe the Wild Robot was the same year.
Yeah, it might have been the Wild Robot.
It was a very packed year, the year of Boy and the Heron.
Yeah. Anyway, the year that won, there was a Spider-Verse that year. And like that, there was like 4 or 5 that could have won it. And I feel like since then, it's just kind of going.
The last 2 years have been lacking. Yeah.
Well, I feel like animation is just hitting a lull right now, but until we get the like AI animated movies coming out, until everything is totally AI, voice actors, and then it's worth it. At this point, like who cares? I don't know. Artists are kind of just like a waste of time. I don't know.
Exactly.
On K-pop Demon Hunters, I think is it 2 nominations for them total? Or
yes, they have song and they have animated feature, I believe.
Yeah. I'm going to call it now 2 for 2. I think
2 for 2. Oh yeah,
especially when you're talking about song, the amount of impact that had. Like who, first off, is listening to individual songs from soundtracks right now, but for the impact that had, crazy. I think 2 for 2 easily.
Noah and I with our musical theater playlists just
still in the charts.
Yeah.
Like it's
is it still
like. Yeah, I think Golden is still like number 8 in the Billboard Top 100. Not everybody gives a shit about the Billboard Top 100 anymore, but yeah, it's still charting. It's pretty wild that it's. I mean, I haven't seen an animated movie like this blow up quite or to this level since Frozen. Really?
Yeah, and that was 13 years ago, or 12 years ago. So 12 or 13 years ago was Frozen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no. Okay. There is a new Academy Award this year, guys. Best Casting is now getting an Academy Award. This is a part of a new line of awards that the Academy is going to be rolling out over the next few years. They're also going to be rolling out the award for Stunts, which we have talked about on the show in the past as being an award that needs to be there. Stunts is going to debut in 2028 at the 100th Oscars. Now, I don't think any of us here know anything about casting or are qualified to talk about casting, so we're not talking about the casting award, but good luck to all the nominees for the inaugural casting award. Jamie, go ahead. Once again, you are physically instead of virtually raising your hand.
Well, the visual cue, I feel, is, I don't know, it's instinct. I'm actually not sure if it is nominated, but I think there's one movie that had such great casting that I'll speak on it later. Let me make sure it actually is. Yeah, it totally is.
I have them right up in front of me. So the movies nominated for casting are Hamnet, Marty Supreme.
It's a teaser. I won't say I checked also. This movie I'm thinking of is nominated. I'll talk about it later, but I think like cast. I'll talk about it later.
Okay. They are all Best Picture nominees.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to make the goddamn twin joke? Is that what this is set up for?
No.
No, okay.
No.
Okay. I'm like, is this just all set up for you to be like Michael A. Jordan?
No, that's actually pretty funny. Did you come up with that or no? You still
No, your sister went off on that the other night.
That's her joke. She's hilarious. That's funny. And then it turns out that actually every single character was played by Michael B. Jordan, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy what they can do with
That
makeup
Haley
nowadays.
Steinfeld mask they made for him was insane.
Yeah.
On the new categories, can I petition for a new category to be added?
Yeah. What?
I'm going to say, in lieu of not having any sort of children actor, just having a ballpark of best inaugural performance or best first performance.
Mhm.
Because shout out to Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. I don't know if we want to talk about this a little bit later, and I don't want to get into spoiler territories, but I'll just say
so for
that
real.
His finesse in his craft, his ability with props was very appreciated. So a big shout out to him, and what a crazy surprise.
I have been thinking about how I'm going to approach my notes on Marty Supreme on this episode, because I have a lot to say about Marty Supreme. None of it has to do with Kevin. I completely I know he's in the movie, but completely just was not on my radar at all until you were like Kevin O'Leary inaugural performance. What I do legitimately think, Evan, though, that is not a bad idea, because it would then make movies cast more unknowns and search for more talent out there, which I don't think would be a bad thing. A lot of people's inaugural performances have blown up to be something big. For example, Haley Steinfeld, True Grit with Jeff Bridges back in the day in 2010. There are a lot of performances. I believe the kid who played the young version of the main character in Moonlight, that was his first big thing too. There are a lot of really great potential for actors that way as well. Jacob Tremblay played the little kid in Room, and now he has gone on to be a big child star and everything in both voice acting and real anime and real live action films. He did a movie with Peter Dinklage. They did that what is it? Green Avenger, Masked Avenger, something, the remake they did this summer.
Toxic
Avenger. Thank you, Noah.
But they do have that as a category in the Grammys, and it is a very popular, important category.
Best new artist.
Breakthrough artist or something. Yeah.
No, I think that's a very good shout. Noah, you also wanted to talk about Rose Byrne.
Yeah, it's just really cool to see. I haven't seen the movie. It was the last one I was meaning to really try to, and I just didn't get to it. But I love Conan O'Brien, so I'm very interested. But everything that I've heard is that Rose Byrne's incredible. Although I know a lot of people roll their eyes at it, I do love a dramatic turn by a primarily comedy actor. But also, it's just nice to see. Comedy's really difficult. I feel like it gets brushed over a lot, but comedic acting it can be very difficult. Rose Byrne's been doing good comedic acting for quite a long time, so it's also nice to see her get to sort of break out her chops a little bit. And it's just a nice story. I also like that her partner was buying an iguana. That's cool. That seems like a cool mom buying her kids an iguana. So you know what? I'm rooting for Rose Byrne. It's just been nice to see. Yeah, it's someone. I feel like it's the biggest story of the person to root for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm blanking. What's the Killers of the Flower Moon? Right? I felt like that became the performances to root for. Was that 2 years ago now? 3 years ago?
I think so. 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it's just nice to see that again, right? And as upset as I was that Lily did not.
Yeah, I think also too, just what I find really interesting just about that movie, and it's on my watch list to rent because it's on for $6.99 right now. So I do plan to rent that this week. Was hoping to watch it before the show, but did not get a chance as I prioritized a few other movies. But one thing that I will say is really cool is I don't know if anybody here listens to Conan O'Brien's podcast. Good podcast, really big fan. Noah and I are very big fans of the Jeffrey Epstein bit from a few years ago.
Really big fan of Jeffrey Epstein?
Jeffrey Epstein bit.
Joe just said he's a really
financier. My gosh,
big fan. Did you guys hear that?
Joe said the file should be sealed.
Yeah. Season 6 is the season we finally get canceled. It's long overdue.
Joe's on the flight log.
But what I was gonna say is that Conan talked about on the show, they offered him this, they wrote this part for him, and also too, he had no interest in doing dramatic acting as well. And once again, I haven't seen it, but from what I understand in the clips I've seen, he looks to be doing a pretty good job. So I'm very excited to see that. Conan O'Brien for best inaugural performance this year. That's my snub. And then Evan, you came to us with an interesting one to talk about. This is a movie that I have not been able to see, but was actually talked to me about by our friend of the pod, Jamie Rabonel. He covered it at TIFF this year. But Evan, you want to talk about Park Chan-wook and No Other Choice?
Yeah, when I was watching this movie, it was definitely a standout for one of the most, I'll call it epic dramas, definitely of this year. I was really surprised to see that it didn't get any sort of nomination, especially for international. Some other things that stood out, cinematography was fantastic. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are some scenes involving music that were just jaw-droppingly awesome. And not a single nomination. And I think looking behind the scenes, there is some controversy going around that it's probably related to his involvement in the writers' strikes, that he was kicked out of the Writers Guild of America because he was doing some script revisions during the writers' strike that he had called a directorial decision, but really it's falling under the writers' purview there. So I think, and people are saying that the reason none of his nominations came through this year was because of his expulsion from the WGA and this Writers Guild strike stuff. But I think it was a fantastic movie. It was one of my favorite ones of the year. It won, speaking of the TIFF coverage of it, it won the International People's Choice Award at TIFF. So you would imagine that would get some sort of nomination for an international film, but just seeing nothing for it, I think there's maybe something going on behind the scenes, that there might be some politics to this.
Crazy. I didn't know it was so snubbed. I just assumed it was nominated for Best Picture, and I thought Lee Byung-hun was nominated for Best Actor because he was in the Golden Globes. I just was like, yeah, of course he's just gonna get the nomination. But that's crazy. I like no nominations at all.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was like might be one of my favorite or my favorite movie of the past year. Like I had so much planned to talk about it, and that I didn't know that. I didn't know that till right now. That's
yeah. I can understand like them not doing it if it is based on that decision for the WGA and everything. Like, you know, we talked a bit in our WGA episode just about like, you know, the solidarity and how important it was for that united front for the writers, especially with Gen AI being such a big focus. So I understand like if that expulsion has led to this as well. But yeah, but it also doesn't surprise me that international cinema is the first thing to kind of get the cut as well.
Yeah, and just to touch on that a bit, that I think this year, especially for some of the Best Picture nominations, we're seeing a lot of, or the inclusion of more international films. Mm-hmm. So I was seeing that even for the voting, a lot of the voters now, I think 25% are outside of the US. So I think that that's going to be a bit of a trend. And I think hopefully growing the Oscars and the prestige of them internationally, because before just having one, not throwaway category, but one consolation category for international, whereas every winner for all the categories were going to be US films. I think it's going to be really good for that, but still with this focus on international movies, the fact that this stellar one didn't get any acknowledgement was I think something was going on there, whether it was, you know, deserved with this writer's strike or for someone that had so much buzz around them with movies like Old Boy being such a beloved movie, that I think it's interesting. I think it's not going to be taken very well by him. So I want to see what he does next with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like just on that, I think Roma really set a precedent back in, what was it, 2016, 2017, that kind of put us onto this track. What I also really like too is that, I don't know if you're familiar with this, Evan, but the Academy is now enforcing and trying their best to track as well people actually watching all the films that they vote for and the categories that they participate in. So not only is the Academy expanded, but they're trying to actually make it that you can't just vote for the popular thing and then the popular thing or the thing that's getting press at the time wins when it probably shouldn't have, like Green Book and Coda, which we could delve back into those movies, but
that is just crazy that was not happening.
Yeah, for 98 years. Yeah.
Personally, I feel like Green Book's is a bit of the bigger crime. Like I still kind of think Coda's a fine movie. Probably not Best Picture quality, but you know,
I think it's the bigger issue with Coda is that people in the deaf community don't think it's a fine movie.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just That's insane that wasn't already happening.
Yeah, that is insane that it took up until this point.
And there'd be podcasts covering these movies that haven't seen the majority of them, and I'm really glad that we have this enforced now.
Okay, maybe we deserved that one.
I like that we also didn't change this year.
Yeah.
I tried my best to watch them. I just couldn't find a way to watch the final two.
Legitimately
troublesome.
I was talking to Jamie about this. Like, so Jamie's living up in a city about 40 minutes away from me. I'm a bit more southern, and where we are.
Postal code right now. Put it on the internet.
But this is not E3. We're not doxing our hosts, okay? They did that. E3 doxed like a bunch of YouTubers. Nobody knew this? Okay. Anyways.
Are you saying we've never doxed one of our hosts on this podcast? Like, no one's email has ever been given out on this?
Is that what you're saying?
Chevronoah13 at gmail.com. Official email the show, even though we have an official show email now. As I was saying, which completely lost my train of thought. One of the movies that I'm most excited to see this year that I just still haven't been able to see is Hamnet, because it hasn't been shown anywhere near me within like a 45-minute drive. And I tried to stream it this week, and it's not even available to rent or buy yet, let alone stream. So I have no way of watching this movie that I have no doubt is absolutely fantastic and that I really want to see. But I have not watched it yet.
Yeah,
I had to go into Toronto to watch it. Like, it wasn't even in my medium-sized city. I had to go.
So you drove like another 40 minutes from your 40 minutes away from me.
And I'm in Newfoundland, so basically any movie that gets like, I'll say, for lack of a better term, any artsy movie, it usually, like, it will come to the Cineplex, but it usually play for a week, and if I'm not available that week, I just don't get to see it.
Yeah, I heard you guys finally got La La Land out there.
I know. I didn't like it.
Oh. Well, you can talk about.
Wait, Evan, like the golden question of this show that we ask everyone that no one will ever agree with me on. You do like La La Land, Evan?
I like La La Land.
Do you think Moonlight or La La Land should have won the Oscar?
I never ended up seeing Moonlight, so I'm going to go on default and say La La Land.
I've got an ally. Finally,
I really believe in that like woke mind. Moonlight's trying to push, you know. He thinks it's propaganda, so.
Since our last episode, Jamie's gotten red-pilled.
Literally, guys, like, somebody is going to be listening to this episode and, like, not realize Jamie is joking in half of her comments, and we are going to get, like, blacklisted for, like, AI support and our woke views of Moonlight. And
sorry, I'm /J.
What?
You just have a very deadpan humor, which is why it's like I can see someone very much just misinterpreting. We don't like AI in the show. Noah's made that clear.
Yeah. Noah's actually AI though, which is crazy. Look how far it's gotten. He gets real, doesn't he?
He's always in that Shut Up Joe shirt. He must be AI.
That's
and
true.
Always in front of those brown walls.
I didn't even try it today to wear this. I just threw it on because it's a weekend and it's a comfy t-shirt. Get yours now. It just so happened. You know what? It worked out.
We had someone order one. So Shut Up Joe shirts went like pretty popular for like a straight year. And then they've died off. And every so often when we've done an episode, they've been purchased. But I say it's probably been about a year since someone's purchased a Shut Up Joe shirt. And someone purchased one right before the holidays. And usually when they purchase it, we know, even if it's like through like a longer relation, we can figure out where it's come from. No idea who bought one this time. So someone got a Shut Up Joe shirt. And it's yet to be revealed.
One of my
funny, like, sorry, go ahead.
So I was out for a walk, and one of my friends drove by me on the way to work, and they saw me, and I got a text, and they're like, "What is on your shirt?" That I had to explain the entire thing. It was very funny. They thought it was funny. They still have to listen to the podcast. But, you know,
do you advertise actively to your friends, Noah, that you're on a podcast? That you are considered an equal third of this podcast. Like, do you say it's my friend's podcast? Do you say it's my podcast? Like, I'm so genuinely curious.
I advertised it originally. I haven't advertised it in a little bit because I just kind of assume everybody knows, and also like, you know, whatever. If we're not going to upload consistently, I'm not going to promote it consistently.
That's fair.
But I did share it as like a podcast I do with my friends.
Okay. I want to make sure you feel like an equal. I know you came into this like a year and a half into the operation, but I want to make sure you feel equal to this.
I feel like I may be 40% of the podcast now. I kind of feel above the rest of it.
And what, Jamie's 60?
Yeah, you get
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm only 55. Evan's got the other 5.
Oh, I've got the other 5 now. Got it.
Yeah. Who are you?
Is this guy?
The guy on your shirt.
Oh,
you know, like it should be such an ego boost to me that I'm on like merch and on a shirt, but like it's also like what the design is and everything. It really like it brings it back down.
Didn't we have like a bunch of listeners from Germany? Wasn't that what we found out?
Germany and Russia we've had over the years. Yeah.
All right.
We topped on the Apple podcast charts for film in Russia for like a week back over COVID.
Guten Tag.
This whole podcast is a Russian psyop anyways, so I guess they're just checking in on how we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of Russian films snubbed this time, actually, you know, I don't know.
Let's talk
we get into actually
yeah. Let's talk about Best Director, guys. So the nominees, and we'll go through these because all of these films are, of course, nominated for Best Picture. We'll focus on just the directors and the shots for this right here, and then we'll move into Best Picture. But for Best Director, our nominees are Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joaquin Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Right off the bat, I just want to say, I'll run through these real quickly. Hamnet, I obviously haven't seen, but Marty Supreme, and I will go into this more into Best Picture. I was not crazy about Marty Supreme, guys. I was not crazy about this movie.
I'm just mad.
But from a directing standpoint, I think the shots were really great and the performances were really great. My main issues with Marty Supreme come from the story and the pacing, which I'll talk about later. But so I think Safdie being here is well deserved. I do, however, not believe that he has anything as strong or as memorable as One Battle After Another and Sinners. While I was not a fan of the ratio changing in Sinners and the way Coogler shot that specifically, it is very dynamic, and I just feel like there's a lot more interesting shots in both that and One Battle After Another. I'm not a person to defend Paul Thomas Anderson, as we know on this podcast, but I actually did like One Battle After Another. It's probably the most I've enjoyed a film of his, and so between those two, I just feel like they are definitely a lot more memorable in a lot of the composition too, a lot of the frames. Coogler, like I said, did the aspect ratio shifting. Wasn't that big of a fan of it, but still it was really well done. And a lot of really great use of natural lighting with Coogler, especially with those nighttime scenes as well. And so I just think it's a lot more memorable than just Marty Supreme, which while it was shot and it looked nice, I don't remember one scene in that movie standing out for its technical aspects versus what happened in the scene, for example, and the performances. So that's where I lie on that. But I would love to be told why I'm wrong. So whoever wants to jump in first.
I have not seen Marty Supreme, so I won't comment on that part. But I agree with you. I think it's chances are what we're seeing is a bit of a 2-horse race for this specific category. I think Best Picture it's a little more open, but I think Best Director is either going to go to Coogler or PTA.
I've heard a lot of great things about Zhao, though, with Hamnet.
Absolutely. I'll come back to that. I also haven't seen Hamnet, but I have a theory. But I think they're going to do the thing that they do, which is big record, lots of nominations. It's going to win, it's going to win a bunch of different things, but not Best Picture. Because usually the most nominated film does not win Best Picture. Unless it's Oppenheimer. I think that was the only one in recent memory. So I think Coogler is going to get Best Director. Personally, that's what I think is going to happen. Personally, I think I'd put PTA. Those are the two that I've seen in this category. So those are the only two I'll talk about. In terms of direction, I'd probably put PTA maybe a little bit above. I just thought it was a little more dynamic for One Battle After Another in terms of specifically direction. Not necessarily my thoughts on which film is better, but I also loved both of those films. They're 1 and 2 of my films this year, so.
I also think too, like Coogler got a lot of buzz around Black Panther, of course, when Black Panther was nominated. And so I think a lot of people are feeling very overdue for Coogler because not only for the achievements and what he's done for film, but also for the Black community as well too, and for a lot of culture, which is present in all of his movies that he does. So I can also see that kind of being like, with Sinners being the big cultural thing that it was this year for both critics and audiences, this kind of being that perfect storm for him being recognized, not just the movie and everyone on it, like you're saying, Noah.
Joe, you're talking about overdue. And I think with this being a 2-horse race, someone's going to end their drought. But both PTA and Ryan Coogler have 0 wins. I think PTA has.
PTA is not overdue, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair. But I think he's at maybe 14 nominations now. So something crazy high with 0 wins. I think. I think with the amount of love coming to One Battle After Another, I think the word on the street is maybe that's the favorite for Best Picture as well. That I think that he is going to get a lot of love in the Oscars, and I think there's also just going to be a bit of that narrative in it of not just the movies against each other, but the 2 directors against each other as these 2 people that are overdue. Do we see the same Best Director and Best Picture? I know we were also saying that, maybe Sinners wins Director and PTA wins Best Picture, if that's the way the nominations are going to go. But I think that's something to look into. And we were talking about Marty Supreme, and maybe some of us haven't seen it, some of us didn't love it. I think that was one of my favorite movies of the year. I'm coming from a big sports movie background. Some of the ones I have them on my shelf here, but a big Rocky fan. I thought the use of a lot of the 80s soundtracks in this, a lot of the epic shots, the training montage sort of things, I thought that was very like classic 80s sports movie-esque. And I just had a really fun time watching that. So even though maybe not a Best Director, not a Best Picture movie, and if there was a Best Fun category, I think that would be definitely nominated, definitely a winner for me. But
I think on that Marty Supreme, I have opinions about all of these. I've seen all of these movies. With Marty Supreme, if you look at it on paper, like you're saying, the pacing's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird story. It's peculiar, and there's a lot of different things from different places, like the intro with the title sequence is kind of off-putting immediately to some people, and it having like an 80s soundtrack but taking place in the 50s. On paper, it just seems like it's like this mismatch of just someone grabbing a little something of everywhere with no sense or reason, but it's put together in such a cohesive way, and I think that's like because of Josh Safdie. That's because of, I forget his brother's name, but the other Safdie. Because of them, I think that like just shows so much. Oh no. Talent, like it's unique. I do think PTA will win. He did win the Golden Globe, but I feel like him and Ryan Coogler, great directors, but I feel like it's nothing super new or like testing the boundaries or the rules. Like there were some parts of Sinners that I think were done really well and really creatively, but overall it's like, oh, it's exactly how you would do this scene. If you ask directors the most popular thing around, the best directors, they'll all want to do it this way. Versus someone like Josh Safdie or Chloe Zhao, it's like, no, what they're doing, no one else would have said, because they'd be like, no, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird if you try to shoot it that way. I don't see how that works. But they make it work. I do have some strong opinions about Hamnet as well. And I think if it wasn't for the directing, I wouldn't have really liked it. But it was such a beautiful movie. It had such a strong feeling to it. And I think that's because of her directing style. I honestly think it's between her and PTA to win.
And Zhao has already also won too. She did win for Nomadland.
But it's not just about that. But I was going to say, I have a feeling that Coogler's more in the running for that reason. I mean, we kind of saw that is a thing they take into account when, no hate, but, what's her name? Won for Everything Everywhere All at Once for supporting actress.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
when Leo won for The Revenant.
Role was kind of, like a comedic kind of side part, nothing super heavy, but it's like, oh, she was so do it. So we know that is being taken into account. So that's why I think Chloe Zhao. But I mean, also, if you look at just the list of winners over the years, there's so few women that I do feel like they want to try and even that out. So I don't know if they do low-key take that into account too.
Well, that's also been...
Sorry?
I was going to say, that's been something that we've talked about many years on this show, with just since Lady Bird, Little Women, and Barbie, Greta being continuously snubbed for Best Director.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not as like wise to the disparities in race for who's being directed, so they might also take that into account and see who they've been snubbing over the years historically because of different race disparities. And then Sentimental Value. Did anyone else here see that movie?
No, I was gonna watch it last night, but then you were all over at my house till midnight.
Oh, I did not watch it. I thought you did.
I did not watch it.
So it does have a plot, but it's not a super strong, constantly driving, edge of your seat type plot. But when you're watching it, you do still kind of feel that way. Like it's in a very internalized, emotion heavy movie. And although I feel like there actually isn't that much dialogue, it does feel like there's a lot happening. It's about like complex social relations between the characters and stuff. And they're able, did you pronounce it Joaquin? Is that how you pronounce this name? Do you know this? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm 95% sure.
Okay. But he's able to get that across so like precisely. There's some things that just make you feel such a strong and such a specific way that you couldn't write down on paper. I think that's where also like music and lighting and that kind of thing comes into play, and facial expressions. So I mean, it goes to everyone else involved in the film and the actors and actresses, but it's also the culmination of all of that and how you balance them and the framing. So I do think like definitely deserves his spot on this list because that was done really, really well. But that's also kind of the thing, like his style of directing. I feel like I've seen a lot in recent years, especially in indie movies. So it's nice to see like this is a smaller movie. Out of all of these, it has like the budget for it is so crazy low compared to the other ones. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm gonna say it's like less than a tenth of the others. Like it's so it's nice to see something that is legitimately an indie movie, like produced independently. Has some big names from Hollywood involved. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not, I wouldn't call it like a true indie movie, but technically it is. But it's nice to see it like getting its flowers here and it being a foreign language film too, but still being able to make it here. I guess, I mean, having Skarsgård and Elle Fanning helps, but
yeah.
Anyways, it's nice to see him nominated, but I don't think I'm expecting a win for him.
My main driving force for wanting to see this movie is Skarsgård because he's just been on fire lately, especially after Andor and Elle too. Like just she's finally getting her Academy Award nomination, which is also overdue for her. So yeah, very excited to watch it.
What about a crazy snub in this category that?
So I'm going to say my snub, I'm hoping it's the same as yours, what you're referencing is that Yorgos is not nominated. I'm really eating my words this year, guys, because I've been on the Yorgos hate train since The Favorite was such a disappointment to me. And no, I'm very bought in. I loved Begonia. It is, I think, my second or third movie of the year. I don't have my top 10 right in front of me right now, but it was absolutely fantastic. I had a blast watching that. The only thing that bugged me about it was that I did see the twist coming right from the very beginning, but otherwise, like, gripped me. So well done performances, and it was very well paced and kept into this. It's like it's just under 2 hours. Like it's very, very well done. I think legitimately the reason why this is, and I'm just saying something here, there's no merit to this than just like literally like the Academy loves films that are over 2 hours. They do. They like a 2 to 3 hour film. This comes in under. I'm like, maybe there was that little prejudice as to why they didn't nominate Yorgos for that, because yeah, I've my own opinion aside, like I know I'm in the minority here, but I would nominate Yorgos over Josh Safdie for this category.
If I can take the mantle of Yorgos hater then from you, Joe.
Go for it.
I think that a big thing to consider when you talk about these movies is this better than what the director has done in the past? And
for me, it is, but I guess you have a different opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say that I thought his previous movies were a lot better than this one, especially in terms of culturally relevant, that he was not really reinventing the wheel on this. And I think one of the big tells for that is just how many movies he's been doing recently. That I think we've had one per year for the past 3 years.
2 last year.
2 last year.
Or the year before, yeah.
I think, and maybe this is just being a hater and not taking the movie for its values, but I think that if he slowed down on some of these movies, that maybe he could put a little bit more time into it. I thought that one of the biggest sticking points was just the fact that after people saw it, nobody was really talking about it. That it should have been talked about. Like there was a lot of noteworthy stuff going on. Maybe it's a bit of fatigue specifically from him, but I thought, the only thing that I was taking away, people told me Emma Stone gets her head shaved in this movie, and that was it. No one was talking about anything else.
I'd like to say the other thing I heard is that noted former Cumtown host Stavros Halkitis.
Oh, Stavros. Yeah.
Mm,
I didn't know he was in it.
Yeah.
I was watching with Evan. I'm like,
yeah.
Hi!
Another notable film debut this year from him.
Oh,
I will say,
Yeah.
Evan, I also had I had a similar opinion kind of about The Favorite to you. Like the reason why The Favorite, like I was so bummed out about, is that I felt like it was uninteresting, nothing really great, and it wasn't like bold. And also too, like the one thing that was the takeaway. And Noah, we had this conversation in a Walmart. No, I don't remember if you remember this, but we had this whole
I
conversation. Like the
black
only
out every
thing
time I'm in
people
a
were talking about in this movie that was like Emma Stone was topless in it. That was the only thing
I
being
didn't
talked
even-
about.
okay, I'm a huge Yorgos fan. Maybe my favorite director. I think he's. Well, if I'm gonna talk about like unique style, doing something different, taking risks, he's kind of like, I feel like, at the forefront of that type of thing. But in saying that, Begonia was like his most palatable movie. It was the most like consumer, accessible, accessible to a general audience. Maybe you liked it, John. Maybe we should look at YouTube. Anyways, you saying that you saw the twist coming, I don't accept that as a comment, because either end, there's like, well, is she an alien? Is she not? Either end is a twist. Like either end is a twist. The whole movie, you're going
That's
back
fair.
and forth. So you can't be like, well, I expect the twist. You can say that either way, but I think it was very fun. Like how Evan said that Marty Supreme would win the fun. No. I think Begonia would. I think it was incredibly fun. It's, like kind of a dark premise, and there were dark things happening in it, but it happened in such a, I don't know, not like a fun way. Like, oh, yippee, they're like torturing a woman or whatever, like not fun like that, but in the same way, like, I don't know, you just have a good time watching it and you're very invested and you're like, oh, I hope she gets out. But wait, is she an alien? I hope they get her. Or like, oh, it's so you're on the edge of your seat. There's just like a bunch of different things happening at once, but they're all, I don't know. I think it was done very well. I think the Yorgos fatigue could be real, being like,
I do
well,
agree
he's
that
had
that
a
is
lot
a thing.
lately.
I think that's mainly what.
I think just because of his most palatable movie, it's like what normally makes his movies so great was just dialed back on this one.
Mhm.
So it's somewhere between. It's not, oh, it's great because it's the perfect movie from the film theoretics point of view, or it's the perfect movie because it's so experimental. It's like not quite fully there on either of those. So I think it strikes a very happy medium where like it's great for people to get into him and for people, a wider audience, to enjoy it. But it's not going to be the wider audience's favorite movie. It's not going to be a Yorgos fan's favorite movie. So it's not really strong in either direction. So I think that's perhaps why, like, we already had, like, Evan, you and Joe were saying already differing things about best movie, not his best movie.
Yeah.
Joe, hating on the favorites, not hate it. Still don't hate on this man.
Sorry.
Don't hate on this man.
To add some validity to making a palatable movie, I think pretty notably, another movie that was the director's most palatable, One Battle After Another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was
100%.
an incredible, like that had his twist on it, but that was an incredibly like approachable movie for anyone, where his previous ones not so much. And I think that that's going to be reflecting in the amount of people that saw it and the amount of Oscars that it's going to win. What I hope is the takeaway from some of these things, including Begonia, is I hope that it doesn't tell directors to lean more into that and to kind of lose their original voice. Now,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
well, luckily, Yorgos had a lot of love for Poor Things as well, so I don't think that he's going to take that away. But for PTA, I think how tempting could it be to see, this one movie that everyone is praising you for and not go more in that direction?
Especially after all of the times you've lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of the reason that One Battle After Another is so being hyped up so strongly by everything, I think it's a good movie, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I do think it's like less PTA than his previous ones, and it's a more step towards like traditional movies and like what audiences want to see. It's kind of because the political and topical aspect of what it's about, that people watch it and they go, this is exactly how I feel about these things, and this is so topical right now.
Yeah, it's
But,
relevant.
like if this came out far, like a decade in the future, hopefully we're past all this very soon. Hopefully it loses relevance very soon. Sorry, my dad just walked into here. Hello? Or if it was released in the past, like it just wouldn't get the same. I'm distracted. I'm sorry.
That's
Okay, my
okay.
dad.
Like, he's a tall
I
man.
think my dad has a huge, especially because like the Academy and like this kind of side of Hollywood loves to like virtue signal and just being like movie that like represents very left liberal views, if we just say that we really love it, then we get those brownie points without doing the work. So I can't help but feel like that has some sort of effect on it.
Yeah, and I think that's also just something too that we always need to think about with the Academy when they are nominating movies, and why there are always so many snubs, is because there is a political side to Hollywood and the awards.
Talking about directors at their most or least successful, I love a director at their least successful. I loved Asteroid City, Wes Anderson. Like, I think that's I adore that film. I think it's one of his best. I'm one of my favorite directors right now is Robert Eggers, year after year, and he just does not want it to be accessible, right? It's if you are coming to see it and you either love it or hate it. I love that. And I feel like for the first time in a while, who I think was maybe snubbed for a Best Director nom, even though he's had a billion, Guillermo del Toro with Frankenstein. I think a lot more people expected that movie to be more accessible because it's a Frankenstein movie. But it is, I find it's not at all, and that's what I really like about it. I think it's Guillermo kind of getting back in his bag a little. I was, we had The Shape of Water, we had Nightmare Alley. I'm like, yeah, those feel like Guillermo, but this is him. This is more so representative of the weirdo shit he gets on, and I'm just glad he returned to do it.
I did like Frankenstein, but I feel like it fell flat on almost every single front. And I think like it had great set design, costume design, framing, like the aesthetic was there. Like Guillermo del Toro nailed like what it looks like that, but everything else, maybe a few other caveats, just totally fell flat. I did like it, but it just kind of a lot of the like performances and the displays and just the way things were like portrayed in the movie just kind of felt like mid. And I do feel like it was much more accessible than like I really love the Frankenstein book. And so of course hearing like, oh, a horror enthusiast who like is artsy and not afraid to shy away from these kind of like unacceptable things is making this movie. This is more about the writing, but then to change it to be like, oh, Frankenstein, he's just like a little innocent little shy away from these kind of like gross kind of like, I don't know, it just felt very what people want Frankenstein to be. This is what it actually is, and so it just like missed the whole point. And I feel like a lot of the other portrayals of the characters in how they, not just the writing and the acting, but just like the portrayal point blank, which I think you can it's the responsibility of the director to get that together. It's like fell flat. But yeah, it did have like the great, like very romanticized fantasy look to it, over the top, which is great, but I don't know.
For me, I think the part that I really liked about it is, like, yeah, you actually mentioned it there. It is the most, I will say, like, it is the most early sci-fi Frankenstein has ever felt. Like, it felt like a different, weird world. There was a lot of, so I think it was just, I found it to be one of the most visually striking movies. Even though the thing I complain about the most of modern movies and television shows is that they're all gray, and somehow he made a gray movie look beautiful. And I think as well, it was the moodiest movie of the year, and I love the movie. Sure. Yeah, like I saw that at 11 o'clock. I was unemployed. I was the only person in the movie theater, and it was beautiful.
Are you still unemployed?
No, I'm employed now.
Well, I haven't gotten that update.
Yeah, no, it's not noteworthy.
I mean, we already. Oh,
please.
We already spoke about it, but I think another huge snub for the directors is Park Chan-wook, because like when I was watching that movie, I was like, oh my god, it's like I'm watching Looney Tunes right now. Like I was so like, it was just somehow so serious and so incredibly silly and so wacky, but not like, oh, this is not believable, but it's like you're laughing, but you're also like, the hell? Like, I don't know. It's done so well, and the shot, like every single frame is like comedic, and I liked it a lot.
Jamie, you just activated something in my brain.
Is it that Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up is a snub for animated feature? Yeah.
Like 400 times over. That movie was absolutely hysterical.
It was amazing.
So good.
That's 2D animated.
The snub. That's the snub of my year.
There's a Looney Tunes movie this year?
You don't know about what?
Sorry, I'm not like on the Looney Tunes.
I saw it in theaters. It was fantastic.
Same here.
Cannot wait for
Theaters
Coyote versus
again.
Acme this year.
Fantastic movie. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to pop in that before I forgot it.
I want to backtrack just a quick sec to talk about Frankenstein, just because I'm going to say my opinion on Frankenstein once, and then I'll abstain from talking about it for the rest of the episode, which is that I do not care for the story of Frankenstein. I feel like it has been done far too many times. Do not care. Do not think there's anything exciting. I did give Guillermo's Frankenstein a chance. I do agree. It is shot beautifully. It looks super, super cool. It has that gothic romantic tone. It's just still Frankenstein though to me, and I don't care. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I just don't care.
Actually, I don't think, in my opinion, Frankenstein has not been adapted once. It's actually crazy how many adaptations there are, and it hasn't been done once. What the actual story is and what's happening. It's not like, oh, this guy's crazy. He makes a monster. He's the real monster. It's so much. I think Frankenstein is an allegory for the female experience, but you can't watch any of the movies and get that out of it. You can't. It's just not there at all. It loses all the nuance. But even the stories, like the second main character before the monster, the creature, is going to be this guy called Henry Clerval. A single film adaptation at all. And that, I don't know, it just totally changes the story. He has a huge role in how you perceive Victor Frank. I'm not going to go on a huge Frankenstein rant, but it's, in my opinion, it's actually never been adapted properly. And with each new iteration, it's like, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is it.
We need a female-led Frankenstein as well.
Yeah.
Well, my question. I have two Frankenstein questions. One, adaptation of Frankenstein. Are we not talking about Poor Things as a Frankenstein, especially as a female-led Frankenstein?
Accurate one, to be honest. Well, I think female directed. That still honestly does feel like, okay, yeah, man made this movie, whatever.
Yeah.
Not to be a man hater or whatever, but
Yes, this is coming from the person who also just said Yorgos is your favorite current director. So like, I feel like that's a valid opinion to have.
In terms of like being the same thing Frankenstein is trying to get apart, because in that movie it is like she's innocent. She's not like turned to hate the world and turns evil or whatever. And then when Frankenstein adaptations do that, it's just done without the nuance where it's like a villain origin story instead of being about how you interact socially and how it affects your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll need to do a whole episode on Frankenstein or something. I don't know.
Monsters episode.
My second Frankenstein question. So I was saying we had Poor Things 2023. Now we have this Frankenstein. How does this affect Frankenstein's legacy? Do we think this will make people excited for Frankenstein's? Because kind of notably, and there's not a lot of talk about it, but there's a big Frankenstein movie coming out next year, The Bride, that has a lot of people in it, right? We have Jessie Buckley as well, which there's going to be a lot of buzz about Jessie Buckley. But will this make people maybe more exhausted about Frankenstein's and even take away from this in the future? Or is this having more people coming to Frankenstein, especially Jimmy was talking about the true story of Frankenstein?
I think after this movie came out, there was a crazy surge in the amount of people buying the book and reading it. I can't lie, I didn't read it till the movie was announced. I read it. Now there's two different versions. There's like an 1839 one that was edited by her husband, Lord Byron, and that's the one that got published widely. But there's an 1818 one that's her original book. And for like the first time ever, that one is outselling the edited version. So people are kind of paying more attention to what is actually intended, totally untouched by like people worried about the consumer, like how are people going to take this, more just like what she was actually writing originally. Still so crazy, she was like 18 when she wrote that, but this movie is kind of detached enough from it and just feels like another like, it's not exactly about Frankenstein. Like there is no Bride of Frankenstein in the main story. It's, just kind of the idea. But the way that they use the name Frankenstein and all of these things, I think could add to like the fatigue of it, like you're saying. I feel like it's kind of flying underneath most people's radars. I'm not hearing too much about it. I have a feeling that movie might flop. I don't know what it is or not, but I think it's gonna flop, so it won't really have a huge effect.
Yeah.
All my homies say Byron.
Shall we move on to Best Picture?
Well, one more thing about Park Chan-wook, like that movie also was such a, I think that's incredibly like topical as well and political, but in a way that people like Hollywood doesn't want to be like, we agree with this. It's kind of hating on themselves. Like the imagery in it was the ending with the I mean, if I just say what the end credit, what this film is in the end credits, that's a spoiler, Evan, is it?
I'm forgetting what it was in the end.
Like,
Credit.
it shows all the trees being chopped down, and like, I don't know, I'll be careful with the spoilers, but that just plays back into like these three main themes I feel like you hear kind of repeated and seen throughout the whole movie, and it brings it all together to be like, well, this is what it is. And it's like that's what the movie is saying about environmentalism, about class. Like, it's such a strong feeling, and just to sit there at the end after it ends, and the entire time you're like, oh, this is so silly, this guy's so silly, and then at the end you're like, oh my god, bruh, we live in a society. And it's something that I feel like movies do not really talk about. They always shy away from being so like acknowledging how everything is very consumerist, everything is very drenched in like class disparities, and environmentalism is something we need to care about for every single aspect of our life. Like, things do not touch on that, and no one really wants to talk about it because they're always guilt. Like, you can't be like, the Hollywood press can't be like, or wait, who's in charge of the Oscars, guys?
The motion picture
Yeah, the
arts and
Hollywood Foreign
science.
Press is the Golden Globes. Anyways, they don't want to be like, we support the message of this movie, because people are gonna be like, okay, well then disband and give away all your money. What are you doing? You can't host the Oscars. Stop giving people $1 million worth of gifts each. Like, what's happening? It's like it has a very strong political message, and it's portrayed in a way that you empathize with each side, but you see how the one side gets to you and where the actual empathy lies and how it drives people to believe in living one way, even though they might truly, their beliefs lie in the other way. I don't know. I was thinking about the messaging of that movie. There are like main characters really into plants. He works at a paper company, and there's a lot of things. Talks about AI in there, not directly, but huge, like, anyways. So I think there's also probably like a draw against talking about it from the film industry's point of view, because it would acknowledge that they disagree with how they operate on pretty much everything. But anyways, that's my feel on that movie.
Best picture?
Actually, what
picture.
snubbed for that is this movie called No Other Choice, and I actually think no, sorry. Well, best
Alrighty.
picture?
Let's go through each of the best pictures and give our takes, opinions. We're going to talk about actors. We're going to talk about performances. We're going to talk about all the technical shots, cinematography, directors, writing, everything about it is fair game here. Why don't we start off, Evan, with the one movie that you've seen that no one else has seen? Why don't you tell us about Train Dreams a little bit?
Okay. I think that Train Dreams, the biggest takeaways from it are, to someone who was maybe going in, hearing a lot of hype about it, hearing that it could be nominated for a best picture like this, I think a lot of people might have come away underwhelmed from it. I think there is kind of reasonably not a lot of buzz going on, specifically because it's not a movie that has a lot going on. It's a big period piece, and I think there are a lot of themes of stoicism in there, and really just remaining unchanged as the world around you is changing. So there might be some topical takes on that of, that's literally me. Everything is changing. I need to be the strong person here. I think that where it did get nominated as well for cinematography, I think that's very valid, that it looked incredible. I wonder if there was consideration, was it nominated for any sort of costume? It was pretty basic in that sense, but I think that it's definitely not going to be one of the movies that sticks with people coming out of 2025 as a great movie. I think that it was an incredibly solid movie, but just from a lack of a lot of things going on in it, I think it's not going to be incredibly memorable. I think it got its flowers. I even think that the best picture is really standing on the shoulders of the cinematography in it. But I think in terms of best picture, it's maybe an outlier as one that isn't as well-rounded, specifically in, and I could get some criticism, but specifically in some of the writing for it, that a lot of the narratives weren't so compelling to me. But a very valid, a very solid movie. That's my takeaway.
It did
It
not
actually get nominated
costume.
for writing.
It did get nominated for writing?
It didn't
Yeah,
get
for best
costume or
writing.
production design.
But for best writing, it's adapted. It's an adapted screenplay. I don't know what from. Well, novella.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie, so I can't trash on it. You say it's very kind of stoic and being steadfast and kind of unaffected. That what you're saying?
It's a total duality. It's a total duality. So to not spoil anything, I'm not sure if anyone here, based on my glowing review,
We've always
wants
been
to
like a
watch it.
spoiler podcast. Like we've never cared about spoilers
Okay.
on this show.
So
Okay.
there's a big tragedy that this man faces, and part of it is how do you continue going through this big tragedy, and part of it is as someone who is seen to be strong, how does that actually affect you? Who are you able to open up to? So I can see that, there is a big narrative story there. There are some themes to it. I just thought specifically like the scene by scene that there wasn't a lot added to a lot of these scenes, specifically that I don't really remember too many interactions with different characters being notable. It's interesting to me that it got best writing or for an adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, to be honest, and to be a bit of a hater, I'm not sure if it was a more empty category this year or what happened. But if I were betting, I probably wouldn't bet that it would win best writing.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm not going to totally trash in this movie, but if movies are like kind of being like, well, being stoic and being able to be unaffected by things or whatever is like a good thing, I'm kind of such a hater on that. I'm like not being like, you're going to be super stoic and like unaffected by things. I think it kind of gives like anti-intellectual type of beat. I don't know this movie specifically, but typically I hate on that. And looking quickly at the cast list of this movie, only female characters, the guy's wife? What's going on? There's maybe one more?
No, who
in the entire cast list? Felicity Jones is like and then there's one more, Carrie Condon, and the rest are all men. There's like 17 of them. What's going on? So I'm just not gonna watch the movie. Well, no, but whenever I see that, I'm like, bro, this movie's about to be so bad. It's so weird to see something like that. I don't know. Did the women have like significant roles? Was he more than just like kind of his wife, being like a mother-wife figure? Or was that her role?
They were not incredibly deep characters. The women there. They played like good characters in the sense that they were shown to be very multifaceted, that specifically from a woman's standpoint, that like they were very capable, right? They weren't just seen as, especially for a period piece, they could have fallen into the trap of, okay, this person is only a wife. They're shown as like being able to do many things, but they're not really fleshed out. Like, for example, the wife, really the main character in this, I don't think we ever know about her backstory. We only know her through the lens of this is where she first met the husband, the main character.
Yeah, like her role is just kind of wife.
Yeah.
Can I jump directly to another movie on the list, or do you guys have anything to say about?
No, I was going to move on to Sinners, but
can I have to jump ahead and talk about F1 first?
I wanted to save F1 because it's going to be such a great piece where we all lose our minds as to why this movie's nominated. But if you really want to jump to it, we can jump to it.
Let's jump to it.
On the
That
topic
doesn't
of
serve to
women,
close this.
oh my god! Like the only female female woman, whatever. There are only the two women characters. One of them is like, I'm a woman, but I can do this too. And that's it. And she's like also the love interest, of course, and she's beautiful and skinny and white and young, of course. But she's like, I can actually do this role just as good as a man. And it's like, oh, look at her, such a strong woman. Like, oh my god, what the hell? This is like so far past what it would be acceptable in any sort of blockbuster movie. You would see this 15 years ago and people would complain about it. It's getting like a movie that's getting acclaim, and I'm like, what? This is really wild for her to be like, it would be different if it was an older, not conventionally attractive woman. It wasn't a love interest, and she was fleshed out more, and you had more of her story, and she actually was better than them, or she was like, had personality. She doesn't. And then the other one is just one of the characters' moms, who's just comedic, being like, don't you know what's going on? It's a car, like this. I don't know what a car is. And that's it. Just she's supposed to be like, oh, you're an ignorant mother that just loves her son and doesn't know about cars because she's like a woman. And the other woman is like, well, I know about cars, even though I'm a woman. That's it.
This movie was made for dads.
There's not even like side characters, female characters that have there's nothing. I'm like, this is really wild. This is crazy.
One interesting thread, she was also in Train Dreams. so I'm not sure.
Ooh, that was Carrie Condon.
Yeah.
That was in Train Dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like her, but I'm like, oh, what are you doing, girl? Like, this is so, I don't know.
I was gonna say, like for F1, I think like the only merit this movie could have at the Oscars is if the stunt award was already out, like because they did like actual driving and everything with the rigs, like the behind the scenes for that stuff is kind of cool. But otherwise, this is like there's not much of a story. It's overly long and it's bland. And I completely agree with you. A lot of the characters are just one note. This movie has no reason being at the Oscars whatsoever. It is legitimately just a movie made for dads. That's the target audience. Are you a dad who likes cars?
It is the Top Gun Maverick legacy slot.
Yeah.
Watching it, I'm not like a big sports person, but I think watching an actual F1 match, like an actual F1 race, would be more interesting in this whole movie. The entire time, I'm like, this is kind of like an F1 match, but you only know about the one guy. Like, that's how it's being presented to you. There's one guy who's really cool, and the rest are faceless nobodies. Well, when you watch F1, they're all probably kind of cool guys and have personalities and histories, and you have people telling you about it. Another thing about one female character, it's Carrie Condon. Like, she's beautiful, she's young, she's whatever. And part of like her, she has like a little bit of a backstory, and it's that her husband left her because she wanted to be a car engineer. What? You're telling me like that her husband is like, no, women can't do that, I'm leaving you. And she's like, well, because like he didn't think women could do it. She already was a successful engineer, by the way. But just that it's like, oh, because women can't do this, her husband left her for that. What are we doing? Do you really, is this your idea of what misogyny happens? And then this is being empowered it was crazy. It was like unacceptable. So it's crazy it's on here. I feel like also the marketing was really interesting. That at first I thought it was like a true story about something Brad Pitt was doing. It'd be like Brad Pitt, F1. I don't know, kind of weird.
Yeah, it was. It was very much like, but I think Brad Pitt's name on some of the marketing is bigger than the actual movie title.
Yeah.
If I can nominate this for an alternative award rather than Best Picture, I would call it maybe one of the best IMAX movies of the year. That I think there's some validity to seeing an awesome movie on an awesome big screen.
But I would put Sinners above this for IMAX.
Okay.
All of them above it for IMAX.
These are nominations. I would put
sentimental value in IMAX over this.
An actual F1 race on top of this in IMAX. It didn't like I said, the shots of like during the races, it was literally just what the race looks like. And the way the commenters were talking over it is exactly how what are we doing here? Like, what's happening? This is just worse than if I actually went and watched the sport. But yeah, I guess if you're a dad who likes racing, it's really like affirming to be like, oh, Dad, I like this, and he's cool and hot, and it's showing that he like had a downfall, but look, he's like back to racing. It's so cool. So I don't know who was on the committee voting for it that put it here, but it's crazy. It's on here. And no other choice isn't. That's absurd.
None of us have seen The Secret Agent, so we of course won't talk about The Secret Agent. But Jamie and Evan, since you guys are the only two who have seen Sentimental Value, is there anything you guys want to say on that film that wasn't said earlier?
You seen it, Evan?
I need to abstain. I have not seen.
You've not seen? Oh, I thought you've seen it. I thought you guys saw it together. Okay, never mind. Jamie, is there anything you want to add to Sentimental Value?
It was really good. It was really good. It was very much feeling like an indie movie. It was very much like, oh, I'm depressed, but I'm kind of better now. I do think it also was really lacking nuance. I get it, they're in like Norway and there aren't like many real struggles there, but it did kind of feel like, I don't know, being like, well, I'm an adult, but yes, my mom is dead, and yes, my dad was not a great dad, and so now I'm very depressed, but I'm actually okay. I'm kind of better now. It would really go too much deeper into her feelings than that. It was very strong. Like I said, it had a huge emotional draw to it that you were able to like connect to and comprehend and feel at the same time, which is very hard for movies to do. Often it's like portrayed, but it doesn't actually immediately connect with you. You have to like kind of translate it, go like, oh, they're trying to portray these characters are feeling this way, these characters are feeling that way. But instead you just feel exactly how they feel about the situation. Like it skips that, which is really great. But it's kind of like, oh, my rich filmmaker dad is like wanting to make another film. What are we doing? Oh no, he just like I don't know. I feel like it's something that people who are upper middle class that really like film would be like, this is awesome. This is the deepest movie ever. I think it was good and had emotional value, but it did seem like it was very heavily catering to people in that tax bracket with like, I don't know. I don't know. It felt a little bit weird for that reason. I was weird. The people were just like speaking gibberish the whole time. I couldn't understand a word they were saying. There's like, I don't know. Sorry, that was a joke.
It's a Norwegian
In
film.
Norwegian, and I didn't know. And then are there other nominations for it? Like, are there like acting nominations? Skarsgård probably,
so
right?
Elle
Yep.
Fanning is nominated for Best Actress, I believe. Is it leading or
No, she wouldn't
supporting?
be.
It's
Supporting.
supporting. So is and I'm so sorry if I say this wrong, Inga Ibs Doter Lilias.
Wait, for supporting or lead?
Supporting. They're both
Man,
sentimental
but-
value. Supporting.
that-
Is that what? Sorry.
I thought she would be a leading role. What's her name? What's her name? Ingrid
Her name
Bergman?
is Inga, Inga, Ibs daughter, IBSDOTTER.
Thinking of, and it didn't have a main actress nomination. No, this is
No,
thinking
it
of.
also
Okay,
doesn't have a main actor nomination. Skarsgård is nominated for supporting, so it looks like they're all being given.
Wait. well, that's crazy. Wait, I actually cannot straight up like it's two sisters in the movie. That's why I'm like I can't tell if this one is the sister or the main character, low key. No, it's not. That's crazy if she didn't get nominated, the lead actress. So I was gonna say she was. Oh no. Wait. Yo, I actually can't tell them apart, guys.
Just look at the IMDb list at this.
Okay, I am, but like they have similar names. Okay. Yeah, no, the lead actress Nora Borg. No, that's who she plays. Renate Rensby or whatever. She was also the best person. in
Oh,
the
she
world
is in
that
a
movie.
leading
Yeah,
role.
she's
I misread it.
fantastic.
She's
Yeah.
there. She is there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misread that. That's my bad. She is there.
She is really good, and I do think she's amazing. I do really like that movie too, Worst Person in the World. It's
fantastic.
called, right? Yeah. Because she was really good in that movie. I don't know who else is nominated in the Best Actress, but I think like depending who else is there, she has a real running
Jesse
chance. Like,
Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, and Emma Stone for Begonia.
okay, so there's the whole like political and like there's a lot of other things at play. If I were to choose, I would give it to Renee. I would give it to her. I think she outperformed. I didn't see actually Rose Byrne or who was the first one you said?
Jesse Buckley for Hamnet, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, which is that a Neil Diamond movie with Hugh Jackman.
Oh, I didn't see that. That looks
kind of crazy.
Interesting. It looks interesting. So I guess I can't really speak on their performances, but like, he was really good, is what I'm trying to say. And like, I think she deserves her flowers and more. And it's also great to have like a non-American English person to win these awards.
And since you're
Yeah.
just on a roll, Jamie, is there anything further you want to say about Hamnet before we get into the movies that everyone has seen?
I've seen Hamnet. Oh, I don't know where he is in the thing, but Evan has seen Hamnet too.
Evan, then
You
look
got
at
the
that,
mixed
Evan.
up.
You can jump back in now.
Okay, I'll take team. That two things. One of the big takeaways I've been talking about debut performances. How about for the Hamnet watchers? How about the Hamnet kid? The
Yeah, that was
kid
pretty
was
good. That was pretty
incredible.
good.
I legitimately put that on like a Mount Rushmore of child actor performances.
Yeah.
That he was incredible. He was not a child. He was an actor, not a child actor. That was one of my takeaways. I think that for lead actress, I think I haven't seen Sentimental Value, but the word on the street is that that's Jessie Buckley's award. That she's kind of a shoe-in to win it this year, and I can see why in terms of both the range that she was showing and then like how big some of the peaks in her performance were in Hamnet. That the whole core of that is going through how she is dealing with specific tragedies, how she is interacting with new people, and specifically honing in on some of the tragedy scenes. That she did a really good job there. I can see why she's nominated, and I can see why she could be the favorite to win for it. Jamie, do you have anything on Hamnet?
I had some strong opinions on Hamnet, but first off, yeah, that that kid was really good. I looked up, his name is Jacoby Jupe. He is older than I thought because I thought he was like 6, 7. I thought he was like 6 or 7 years old, like legitimately. Like, I was like, it's crazy for a child that young to be able to conceptualize what to do and do it so, like, to outperform, I honestly think outperform the adult actors in the movie. Like, incredible. He's like 13 when it was filmed, it looks like. No, sorry. Well, when it was filmed. But something interesting in looking it up, that his brother is also in the movie, his older brother. His older brother plays Hamlet, like in the play.
I thought that they were very similar, to be honest.
I didn't see it. As I noticed the recognition between, like, if I recognized that they looked similar, I feel like I would have been like, whoa, that's incredible. They did that, like, that adds another layer.
Casting.
I didn't even notice that. Jessie Buckley, I do like her, but oh no, I mean, hey, oh wait, my laptop not charging, guys. Give me a break to figure this out.
I can fill some air here. So I will say I have not seen Hamlet, and of course you know me and my Shakespearean pursuits, but I have not seen Hamlet. And I was really excited before it came out. And one of the things that kind of turned me off is hearing about how Hamlet the play is treated, which is totally fine. Hamlet the play, in its historical context, is not an expression of grief. If you look at Hamlet the play is William Shakespeare taking the piss. It's always been him taking the piss. Hamlet is a foppish, whiny guy, but he's written that way.
Mm. Yeah. One.
Sorry,
I know this is a spoiler environment. One takeaway is that Jessie Buckley is seeing how they respect the story of her son Hamlet, and she goes, "Oh, that this character is really doing him justice. It's really a true character." So I think it's interesting to hear that perspective, that it was originally written to be kind of making fun of this character, showing that he's not a fully fledged character, that, you know, maybe he's immature. You said foppish, but interesting that that's something very specific that the movie touched on, that they said, oh, well, it was a good portrayal about this this person, Hamlet or Hamlet.
Like, one of the biggest things about Hamlet's grief is that half of it's performative. Like, that's one of the big themes. The Hamlet monologue, the one everyone knows. One of the common misconceptions is that it's a soliloquy. It's not. That entire monologue is done with someone on stage listening to him, who Hamlet notices beforehand. Half the grief in the play, not all of it, but half of it, is performative. So it's interesting just to kind of see how that is the way it is. I don't know. Maybe, I could be wrong. I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not going to try and pretend that I know everything about the movie. But just hearing that is kind of what, like, when it was coming out, I was like, oh, that's one that I need to see. And then hearing about that is kind of what killed the enthusiasm a little bit.
So I have a few things to say. First off, my laptop might die any second, but it doesn't claim to be a true story. It's historical fiction, and it's very clear about being that it's an adaptation of a book. It's not trying to be a true story. It's
okay, awesome.
So what the hell? They just spelled Hamlet, bro. They in the title they put an N. That's so silly. But Hamlet's literally me. Hamlet isn't some whine. Well, he maybe is like a whiny little bitch, but I think Hamlet was Shakespeare's turn into being more serious. It still is, like, kind of a dark comedy. But I think Hamlet is about depression and suicidal ideation. So first, I'm gonna reject that comment you made. I feel like it's very it's about indecision, and it's about the effect that has on your psyche. And it's not just about physical indecision on, like, okay, that to be or not to be, but about just living your life in every aspect. Anyway, it's the movie, Jessie Buckley. I do like her, but what I was going to say earlier, it was kind of giving me a bit of, like, theater kid, like, overacting maybe. I do think this movie fell short in terms of plot and writing and dialogue. I did like it. I do think it was, like, beautiful, and I do think that she acted really well alongside Paul Mescal. I don't think he was really, like, anything super great in the movie, but he did exactly what he needed to do. But I feel like the actual story wasn't super enticing. Like, okay, it's about a mother's grief, but the first half was not setting you up for that. It was not kind of playing into that theme. And I feel like there were a few motifs that they were clearly going for, like, oh, the darkness in the forest is death or something. But it just totally fell flat and was not successful. But I could see that's what they're going for. They're going through this repeated cycle of like mother-daughter kind of like, yeah. I felt like I could see what it was trying to do, but it felt kind of superficial. And so earlier I was like, well, Chloe Zhao, like the direction is what kind of saved this movie. And if it wasn't for the way it looked and the way everything fit together very cohesively, I think I wouldn't have liked it. I did really enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I was wishing for more on all of those fronts. And like the acting as a whole, I think Emily Watson was really good in it. I was like sold that she was kind of like, a strict mother-in-law, kind of whatever, great. And then the kids were really good in it. But yeah, I don't know.
The one thing that I was mentioned before that I would circle back around with Hamnet is my dark horse to steal Best Picture. I don't.
Sure.
From what I've heard, I don't know if it deserves it, but I don't know, man. There's something in the air that I think those moody Brits might get it.
I think one other thing that surprised me with Hamnet, I'm not saying it's deserved, but I'm kind of surprised that Paul Mescal didn't get a nomination for supporting actor. I don't think that he really deserves it, but in the realm of he absolutely was not a lead character in this, but for a supporting actor, he took up a lot of screen time and he did show a lot of range, specifically in the very end of the movie. During the whole other part of the movie, the first 2/3, there wasn't a whole lot of range, but when this tragedy does happen, he's reacting to it. I just thought that there would be a nomination for him, but I'm not saying he deserves it. Just interesting. I think that could be a small narrative going on.
Yeah. Another small note on why I thought this movie was weak in terms of like the writing and when I looked into the actual book, when I saw that it was based on a book, is it also loses a lot of nuance from the original story that in this movie, no one's really the bad guy. No one is, oh, well, they did wrong. And there's like, the one thing of like, oh, he wasn't there for XYZ. I'm not going to super spoil it, but it's kind of like, well, by the circumstance, everyone was like, go here. And it's like, oh, well, it sucks you weren't here. Oh, well, there's nothing, no one really does anything super wrong. And everyone loves each other. And even the like stepmother relation was resolved immediately. There was no tension between any of the characters. But with Chloe Zhao, it's like you feel the whole atmosphere is like, wow, there's so much familial like love and appreciation for everyone, and you feel it and how warm everything is. There was really like, I don't know, no like tension between the characters. Like that's what I mean by the plot falling kind of.
There's no conflict.
Flat, and I don't know. Yeah. I think it was lacking a bit, but alas.
Anybody have anything else they want to say about Hamnet, Hamlet, or William Shakespeare?
Make Shakespeare funny. It's always
something rotten exists. That's my answer to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is I've discussed my thing about how everyone really wants to do modernized versions of Shakespeare plays, and I can say, just make funny versions of Shakespeare plays. Most of them are. He has a whole half of his catalog called comedies. Anyway, small point.
Moving on. Let's circle back around. Now let's go to Sinners. Let's talk about Sinners. So Sinners I thought was so when Sinners came out, everyone was talking about it, and I wanted to go and see it, and did not get the opportunity to see it in theaters. And so that's where I feel like, and I said this in my review on my Letterboxd, that I think I would have enjoyed this movie more if I saw it in theaters. Now, I still love this movie. Thought this movie was great. I just think I would have gotten a much better and enjoyable experience out of it if I saw it in a theater, especially in IMAX. But Michael B. Jordan is absolutely fantastic in the dual role. All of the performances are honestly absolutely fantastic. You are gripped and enticed the entire way. The guy who plays Delta Slim, I think he's snubbed of a supporting actor nomination. Absolutely fantastic. He should have been considered. I thought that Haley was really, really great in it as well too. I think and we actually had this conversation last night because Jamie's mom had said like, oh, Haley Steinfeld, she's from Pitch Perfect. And I'm like, she's from True Grit, The Edge of 17. Like she's done so much recently, and so to see her in a film like this, she didn't get a nomination, of course, but which I don't think her performance kind of shines that much. But
I do want to clarify something, Joe. Delroy Lindo, who does play Delta Slim, is nominated for Best Supporting.
He is nominated. Oh,
Miles
I thought he was not.
Miles Catton's not the musician.
The musician. Okay. Well, then that is also a snub. That's a snub. Okay.
For sure.
Thank you for clarifying that, Noah. But yeah. Anyways, but they're all fantastic. The music was really great too. I mean, I like La La Land, so I'm a sucker for a movie that uses jazz in it, but and Whiplash. But yeah, no, it was
no. It's blues, Joe. It's blues. That's a different thing.
Okay, but they're similar enough.
Oh, bro, no.
Okay,
no.
guys, I'm sorry. You know I'm not a music person. Okay. Anyways,
you may as well say it's country music, bro.
Anyways, I very much enjoyed the use of the music. I enjoyed, Jamie, you mentioned this earlier today when we were talking about it, just like the music, the score choices that were used for the vampires was really, really fun as well, too.
Yeah.
It was also just, it was creative. It was nice. I don't know much about the culture, like behind like the South and like the stories that were told and all that, but I believe with Ryan Coogler, it's something that is accurate or at least very like faith inspired. But can't speak to that. But overall, I just really, really enjoyed this movie. And my biggest fear was that this movie is going to be overhyped now that I'm seeing it all these months later. But it very much lived up and held up to the hype. So I was very pleased with it.
If I could go next, I would love that. Sinners is my movie of the year. And specifically for two reasons that I love Sinners so much. So Sinners is a very nuanced, well-constructed allegory about colonization and Jim Crow laws. It's really well done, that whole aspect of it. There's lots of really nice artistic choices that help bring that through that you can really dig into and love it. And I love all that about it. But I also want to say Sinners is just a wicked movie. It is if you wish to choose to engage with this movie on the thing of, I want to watch a fun action horror movie, it also nails that. Like, it can be a popcorn flick or it can be an art house movie. I just think it fulfills so many different aspects, and that's why I loved it so much. I've watched it. I watched it twice now, once in theaters, once after at home. It is better in theaters, of course. It definitely made use of that. There's some like you said, there's some really strong performances. One small note, and it actually goes back to something that Jamie said as counting against F1. One of my favorite things that they include is they have a not traditionally body-wise, I will say, like not traditionally in popular media, a woman who is not, typically displayed as desirable. And she is, she's a bigger woman with like broad shoulders. And the first thing we see desirable she is immediately. I forget her character's name now, but she's the spiritual lady. Yeah. And the first thing we do is we see smoke just fold for her, and it's I just really enjoyed seeing that, and I think it was a great portrayal. But I just really love Sinners front to back. It's my movie of the year. I enjoyed a lot of movies this year, so that's also a bit more praise for it. I enjoyed it as an action film. I enjoyed it as on its allegorical sense. And Miles Catton should have been nominated. He's really good in that. Also, best I would say I'll say celebrity cameo, Buddy Guy in the post credits. Hell yeah.
I was just about to bring up the post credits that I think I really that really got me too. When I was done, I was like, that was really good. And then the end credits came and I was like, no, this is I don't know, that ending just really tied so much of it together for me, but also I just felt was such a great note to end on, because you see it as oh, their souls won't be freed, blah 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 blah, and and Smoke needed that freedom, but Stack and Haley's character, who I can't remember, they needed that freedom though of the eternity and the eternal life in a different way. And I really appreciated that different perspective, and I really liked that. I really liked the ending. Really liked the ending.
as someone who hasn't seen the movie, one of the 5 people on Earth that hasn't seen this movie, a question I'm having is, because it was a horror movie, does that make this a better movie? Like, specifically making such a great movie in a genre that like notoriously has trash movies that are just popcorn flicks. Is that something that was an achievement? Like we saw as well, notably this year, Weapons had a great reception. Another horror movie that I think was
The Substance last year.
Yeah. So from my takeaway, again, not having seen the movie, I think that doing that with a horror movie, something that is very innately, like there's a lot of cheesy moments to it, that to be able to make a great movie while still hitting those check boxes is an even bigger achievement than, say, a drama piece or a period piece that, okay, as long as you are faithful to like the historical accuracy and you give a good performance, that's good enough. But I'm still
not only that, what I agree with you there, Evan, I think also too it challenges like what a horror movie can be, because it's not like a jump scare, creepy ghost monster. Like, it is a thriller. It's written with a good story. It's well contained. It, like technically like vampires, I mean, you can say it gets in, like it has sci-fi elements, but it doesn't just get into this completely like wacky sci-fi thing it needs to. And I think a lot of horror movies just focus on like that we need to be extra creepy and we need to do something really weird that hasn't been done before. Like, this is a story like, these are vampires. You need to hit them with garlic or stab them with a stake in the heart. It's very simple, straightforward, but it's a unique take on the culture, the setting, and then also just it's telling its own unique story. And I think that that is something that a lot of horror films get stuck with. You can still make something that is creepy and disturbing and make it good, like The Substance last year. That is still an acceptable way, I think, to make a horror movie. But what I like about Sinners a lot is that I would probably like it is like horror, but like it definitely, I think, leans more into that thriller side of a horror versus that scary, disturbing side of a horror, which, is what Hitchcock would do back in the day, and why Hitchcock is still so well renowned and appreciated. I think that that is something that more horrors should look to do, and in my opinion, at least.
I like the movie. I feel like I wasn't as crazy about it as everyone else was. I think it was an important movie, and the music aspect of it did a lot. I really liked showing how powerful music is. And I think it was fun, how like the evil music would come in when the vampires came in, like the evil like death metal or whatever. It was very funny. I was like, whoa, these guys are so evil. Oh my God. I think it works really well, as an allegory, but I did feel like, I don't know, I do like weird movies. I do like weirdo movies made by weird people with weird people in it. And that was not this. So I feel like it just wasn't my cup of tea. But I feel like, again, from like a film theoretic standpoint, it's like a very good movie. Like, it checks off all the boxes, and it does have that like cultural part to it as well that puts it above the a movie that's perfect on paper. This one had a deeper meaning and more thought put into every aspect of it. So I think it was a really good movie, but it wasn't really my favorite or one of my favorites of the year. But I think that's just because of what my taste is. Yeah,
that's fair. Totally fair.
Now that us 4 white people have talked about Sinners,
let's us 4 white people talk about one battle after another.
But white people love this movie.
Yeah,
they really
white people love PTA.
Yeah, so one battle after another. I thought this was good. Like I said, it's definitely my favorite PTA film. As we talked, I also do believe it is his most successful film. I do not disagree with that take that you had earlier, Evan, as well. I think that this movie, though, does take what PTA does best with absurdity and kind of like then grounds it as well. Like, the characters are very PTA, the dialogue is very PTA. Some of the decisions, like I don't know if you want to call them a cult or whatever you want to call them, but like they're the Christmas Club or Saint Nick, whatever they call themselves. Like, that was fun. It's got good humor. It's a little long. I think this movie can be trimmed by a little bit. And I do think that the girl who played Leo's daughter was really great.
Chase Infinity.
Yeah. She is snubbed, I believe, too, from a supporting actress nom. I think what's legitimately difficult about the Oscars is that the movie category is 10 movies, but everything else is 4 or 5. Like, I still disagree with Best Picture being 10 movies. I think it's too much, but I think there needs to be a balance there, because then you have so many great movies, but then you have so limited actresses. And then especially when you've got something like Sentimental Value where you're nominating 2 actresses, which is, once again, totally valid. I haven't seen it, but there are movies where multiple people deserve to be nominated. And so I think that those categories do need to find some breathing room there as well. for that recognition to be spread. Of course, only one person can win the award at the end of the night, but there needs to be a bit more of that widespread recognition. But I digress. Back to One Battle After Another. I overall very much enjoyed this film, but I don't think it's the best film of the year. I think it's good. I think it belongs in this category. I don't think, though, it's like, oh my gosh, mind blown. Like, I would put Sinners above this movie. I would put Begonia above this movie. And my snubs I would all put above this movie as well. But I do think it's better than like F1, Frankenstein, and Marty Supreme.
This is my number 2 movie of the year. I really enjoyed it. Chase Infinity especially is just fantastic in it. I definitely agree it's a little too long. It gets in there, but speaking about the individual acting awards, I mean, it's absolutely Benicio del Toro's award.
Oh, he's so good.
For Best Supporting Actor, in my opinion. He's so good in it. He's funny. It's grounded. It also, with all the themes of revolution, having the character that, like, the way that he is doing revolution, it's a great aspect to include. I don't know if it's my favorite PTA. I do like quite a lot about him, but it's definitely up there. I think it was a really great movie, and the pace is. It's a movie that changes different pacings that I think does it very, very well. With the exception that I think it starts to get a little bit too long as well. And as much as I hate to do it, I'll compliment Sean Penn on this. He's really good in this.
He is.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a freak, but he's really good in this. He's legitimately terrifying at points. He is also very funny at points. Yeah, it really works. I think this is the perfect storm of all the PTA isms dialed back, still working together.
Yeah. If I can talk about some of the casting on this, I believe this was nominated for a best casting. Some of the big hitters on this. So Chase Infinity, that's another person tallying in my big picture debut, right? So the fact that you can come into what's one of the biggest movies of the year and be a standout beside some of the biggest standouts, right? We have Leo in this movie, that to really outshine Leo, and I'll talk about that, but to outshine Leo in a lot of the scenes is a huge accomplishment for this being your first big picture movie. I think the Del Toro and Sean Penn both really deserved. Like, how can you not hate the Sean Penn character? But then in so many scenes, you're laughing at him, not laughing with him because he's a serious guy. But Tiana Taylor did a really good job in this as well. And I think she must have a best supporting. She has a something nomination. I'm not sure. It must be supporting, not lead, I would imagine. But and then for the big name attached to it of Leo, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I thought that it was not a noteworthy Leo performance.
I agree.
I thought you
he's
really
just fine in it.
And
yeah, he's just fine.
And he is a good actor, but I just felt like you could plug and play almost any other, white actor into this, and it would have been the same quality. Unfortunately, maybe I just didn't get the character. I thought the character as well was not really compelling. Like the fact that he was the lead in it. Everything was focused around him, but it was a lot about how he, was a bit of a burnout, that he used to be this cool guy and now he doesn't have much going for him. And he was just seen as incompetent for a lot of it. I understand that can be a useful narrative plot, especially when you're talking about learning all of the things through the lens of the audience, that, when he's talking to this secret group that he's a part of, again with spoilers, but when he's talking to them and all of the codes that they have, right, the audience is hearing for it the first time as well, and he's having to relearn all of this. But I just thought, especially like some of the plots with him being a stoner, I thought this is not really important. It just makes me feel like this guy's a loser, which could be it could be a takeaway.
I think, in my opinion, that's part of the point of his character, is the fact that Leo, as in this, now I don't, it's tough for me to say that PTA probably intended this, but the fact that the straight white male fuck up is the one who has the privilege to live.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of that's it. While like one of the Chase Infinity's character, his daughter, she gets herself out of everything. He does not save her from anything.
Yeah.
And I part of that is the point. I could be wrong as well. I mean, PTA is also, his demographics don't exactly express that he's going to maybe approach that with nuance, but that's what I took away from it. I could be wrong as well.
Yeah, I think as well that would tie in a lot with the messaging of the movie, some of the core themes of the movie about like civil unrest and finger pointing. I think if you wanted to talk about society, then you could say, it's a critique on the fact that a lot of the white men in society are not going to be doing anything with it. Now, he used to be one of the revolutionaries, but now he's just sitting back. He doesn't really want to be part of it, and I think that could be like a critique and definitely fitting in with the main themes of the movie, as all of these stoner guys, all these people watching this movie, they're not actually doing anything. They're just watching the other people kick ass, the other people blow things up and protest. I think that's definitely right, that it's part of the movie how kind of much of a loser or a burnout that he is.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that being intentional. And I was like, oh, but that's actually a good point. Also, sorry if I've been distracted. My charger will charge my phone. It's my laptop that's broken, guys. So I've been kind of freaking out. That's why I keep disappearing and like shaking my laptop around because it's gonna explode or something. I already said my piece on this movie earlier, but I feel like why it's getting all of this hype is it's like really affirming for like white liberals to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, the hero is because we don't want people in concentration camps. Yo, this is awesome. I would so do this if it was real. It is real.
It is real.
It is real. But it still kind of has this like aspect of, I don't know. I think I have a critique on the people who are really praising it, perhaps.
Sure.
I have a note from something Joe said. Joe, you said, oh, it doesn't have the absurdity of PTA.
I said it does.
Yeah, absurd. No, but since when is he absurd? I feel like he's not an absurd.
I think in not in like
romanticized.
not in the way that Yorgos is absurd, but I think that PTA is absurd in a lot of his choices with characters and dialogue.
I swear part of his draw is he makes realistic people. Like when you watch Licorice Pizza, it's like, these are just two people, bro. These aren't characters. These are just two people. Like, what am I watching? And that's kind of like, he was able to humanize Adam Sandler. I actually just don't understand what you meant by absurd, because I feel like he's the opposite. He's very realistic in his portrayal of people, and this one is more fantasy than his previous ones, and it felt like a big departure from his normal movies being like, here is real people with like flaws that you have and stories you've lived, where here it's like, okay, yeah, theoretically could happen exactly like this nowadays, but people aren't actually fighting back like this notably, or at least we aren't aware of it maybe, but it felt a bit larger than his movies usually feel, very small and romanticized, which his movies feel really special. I do wish this had more of that in it, and it felt a little bit more real and less like a fantasy of like, I don't know. I think it was good. I did like it. I already spoke on this when we were talking with the directors, so I don't really have anything more to say on it at this time.
Personally, I think this is going to win Best Picture. Like I said, I think I'd have Sinners over it personally. But out of what I've seen, granted,
I could see it.
A limited amount. But I think this will win Best Picture. I mean, I think it's a great movie. But I also, like, I went to see it with a couple people, and one of the guys came out and he's like, I think that's the best movie of the decade. And I was like, I don't know if I see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's really good. It was an enjoyable watch, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say best of the decade.
I feel like every year, like I see at least one movie where I'm like, no, that's it. That's the standout. That's where I land. And I don't have that this year. There's lots of movies that I like, a lot of movies that I don't like, and there are still movies for me to see, to be fair. But for where I am right now, there's nothing there where I'm like, this is it. This hits. This should be sweeping. Like, I have nothing for that this year. I've got things that I like in different ways that have different strengths very much, which is nice, but it's also like, it feels like something is lacking.
That's because you didn't see no other choice, and because you're blind to the Marty Supreme. You have no.
Okay, so let's talk about Marty Supreme.
Is the clear cultural you know, like it has a huge impact. The marketing for this movie is great. Loki's
Okay, I have notes.
crazy character. What?
I'm ready to talk about Marty Supreme.
I'll say one thing maybe before I get really into it, but this is a movie I think should win casting. This is a movie that has fantastic casting because it's like, okay, well, the lead character is a young, super ambitious, maybe sometimes egotistical man.
Sometimes egotistical? He's a full-blown narcissist.
No, I'm not saying this about Timothée Chalamet though, but I'm like, that's exactly what Timothée Chalamet is. So people already have this perception of him as someone who's like, I want to be the best there ever is. I'm trying to be the best. People already have that perception of him. So if you put him in that role, the casting does some of the lifting for you, some of the legwork. Same with, oh, you want, you know, someone who used to be a huge movie actress, has taken a break and starting to get back into it. That's exactly what Gwyneth Paltrow is. Oh, you want like a rich, greedy businessman that's kind of cold and doesn't really flourish in personal, warm relationships. Hey, that's why they got Mr. Wonderful. Like it immediately clicked into who these characters were for you without having to even throw them in a scene. You already had all these assumptions, you know? You want a young, maybe kind of naive, like beautiful kind of girl. Like that's what, what's her name? Something, Zion. Oh, what's her name?
Odessa.
Odessa Zion. That's exactly what she is. She's like new and upcoming. She's just starting to make the name for herself. Like, I don't know. The casting was really good.
I don't disagree with you on that at all. Every point you make, I completely agree.
I think the marketing very funny. There's some
marketing was
like, this is
fantastic.
Very funny, very interesting. That the marketing is great, but no one knows what the movie's about. But it's like, this movie, it's gonna be great, and being super egotistical and like very self-absorbed in how this is being marketed. Again, does a lot of the legwork for how this movie is going to feel. It's going to be about that grind set because the marketing's all been about being on that grind set and stuff, and adapting to these different things and stuff. So I feel like the casting, marketing was kind of like part of that. It's the same thing I'm trying to say. And I feel like it was like very notable and very good. It was, I think this should win best casting.
I don't disagree with you. I think you've made a hell of an argument there. I don't disagree with anything you've said. But to talk about Marty Supreme itself as a movie, I'm going to read my thoughts just as I wrote them down and posted them after seeing the movie, because I think that's the best way to describe how I felt about this. And so my opening line is just, I don't get it. I have heard nothing but good things about this film. I was excited to see it, and I expected it to jump to the top of my movie list for this year. But sadly, I was met with a never-ending, poorly paced movie about a table tennis player that actually spends very little time focusing on table tennis, where side quests spin out of control, none of the characters are likable or redeemable, and the one thing that the main character keeps trying to do and get you to root for, con people and pull tricks, he fails at miserably every single time. I think Chalamet did an excellent job portraying this character and narcissist, and if the acting and direction wasn't as fantastic as it was, this movie probably would have been unwatchable for me. So I think I agree. The performances are great. The people casted are great. The directing and what Safdie did there, great. It is this plot that I think does not come together well, that just kind of keeps going from one place to another, spinning wildly out of control, not really well connected, and none of the characters being likable. Like, that's the thing. Like, they're all extremely flawed, but they don't have a redeeming quality that makes you root for them. And then even let's say you root for Marty, he's awful. He never gets a win off. So it's just completely like puts you down. And I found that very distracting and not enjoyable to watch.
There needs to be a good guy and a bad guy, and the good guy needs to fight the bad guy and win.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if you have one person who you're following, you need to give audiences a reason to root for them, even if they're a villain. There's no reason to root for Marty, because even the things that he's like, the bad things that he does, he's not good at being a bad person.
You're rooting for him to change the whole time. You're always rooting for him to change.
I'm rooting for him to.
You don't go, oh, I hope that he's going to be nice to his girlfriend, or you're rooting for him to suffer and face a consequence. You're like, come on, something's gotta happen. But all of a sudden it spirals into the next thing. I feel like it's showing the danger of ambition, and he doesn't face any of these consequences, but it just gets him deeper and deeper into this hole. And it's literally the whole movie. You're like, come on, he's gonna not ditch his pregnant girlfriend, right? He's gonna stay here. Oh, he fucking leaves. Well, he's gonna like lose everything, right? Oh my, okay, well, like, you're just always rooting for something to happen. Somehow you still are like, yeah, what's gonna happen? Or they need to resolve this. Like, you're rooting for everything to be resolved, and it just keeps digging himself deeper into the hole, even though he's given countless chances to be like, whatever, I'll cut my losses and like give up on this, but he's just so ambitious and self-absorbed and selfish. Okay, Noah, say your piece. I see your hand is raised.
No, it's good. It's good. I actually, I'm reinforcing your point, Joe, or not Joe's point. Reinforcing your point, Jamie.
Okay.
With Joe, the Safdies literally did a movie where it is this out of control, egotistical guy who you don't root for because you root for him to change. It is very. It's like that's exactly the same way Uncut Gems is.
I was to say, I acknowledge this with Jamie Romano. I said I loved Uncut Gems. I didn't have an issue. I do not know why this movie is not clicking with me. And I do have maybe partly. I'll get into this after you guys have all said your piece. I'll then circle back as to. I then did some digging and more looking looking inwards and also at other opinions, and I kind of maybe have a theory. But anyways, I do agree with you, Noah, 100% on Uncut Gems. I don't know what it is, just Marty Supreme could not appeal to me for the life of me.
Before we get back to Jamie, I will just quickly say the reason I didn't go and see it is because if I have to look at Kevin O'Leary's face any bigger, I will combust. Fuck that dude, man. Go fuck yourself. You killed that guy in the boat. We all know it.
I didn't know it was him till after, and everyone was like, "Yo, so Kevin O'Leary." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" I knew like he looked like that type of guy. I didn't even I just didn't recognize him because he's like old as hell now, and he had some prosthetics on or whatever. And then your head.
Yeah. To hone in on Kevin O'Leary, right? We talked about debut performance and what good typecasting. I saw an interview with Kevin O'Leary where he said, at first I tried to act, and then the director said, listen, you're an asshole, just be yourself. And in terms of as growing up watching whatever Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, it's exactly the same person.
It is.
So I can't say that he's going to have a huge career with, multiple different other movies, but in terms of typecasting for it, he did a good job, and he didn't seem like he was out of place, especially for a first movie. He seemed like he was legitimately a businessman because, that's what he does in real life, and he's just an asshole like he was in the movie. So another point for the initial or the first big picture movie as well. Jamie, did you talk about Tyler, the Creator, in this?
No, but also I didn't know he was in it. I was watching with Evan, and he showed up on screen, and I was like,
yeah, he's the best friend. Yeah.
So what a surprise that was. I thought in my new category, he might not be nominated for best performance in the initial, in the debut picture. I thought that he was okay. He played off of Marty a lot.
It was just fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I think sorry, go ahead.
Well, just to circle back to what you had said about this being not necessarily a feel good movie. This to me would be maybe a feel bad movie. I'm just dreading what the character's going to do next. I'm begging for him to redeem himself, but I'm just going, oh, you're really going to do this next thing? So it was a really fun movie, but it wasn't one of these feel-good movies.
Love a feel-bad movie.
It's a feel-bad movie where I wanted bad things to happen to him. And I was like, he can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
He needs to have his comeuppance. But yeah, that was my.
I do have a critique of the casting in Kevin O'Leary. That should have been me. That should have been me with that paddle. That should have been me. I'm just saying. That should have been me. That's all I'm saying.
His face. Wait, I hope we get all 4 squares recorded on this.
It's like stellar.
Evan's eyes popped and his smile immediately fell as soon as you said me with that paddle. Oh my god.
No, I'm in my Train Dreams arc. This is a tragedy.
You being stoic?
I'm being stoic. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I think the Tyler, the Creator's character. I'm so bad with film characters, and Odessa's character. Both of them provided really interesting foils for Marty. That, with Tyler's character, it's it shows you someone who's doing it for quote unquote the right reasons and knows bounds and is able to kind of respond to what's happening. And you see how they interact with each other and where they butt heads. And Marty's kind of given a chance to I don't know, turn into that kind of person or go, okay, well, he started a family, he had a child and it changed him. Where Marty's in denial of that at that time that he's interacting with him. I think it's a more complex movie, I think, than you're giving it credit for, Joe, and how you started your review off with being I just don't get it. I don't think you do.
I don't get it.
And then Odessa's character, you're doing spoilers, right? When she like, what? Oh, and he like in the makeup, it's like, yeah.
I won't lie, that I assumed. I that one I was like, when she showed up, I was like, there's no way that's real. And then when the guy was so confused at the door, I'm like, it's totally like,
okay.
Everyone's
you're
pulling
saying
fast ones on everyone in this movie. I'm sorry, that was just predictable.
Stop. You've said that about every movie. You're not allowed to say that. You say that about every movie. I saw the twist coming. I saw that. It's not just.
I do. It's
you say it every time.
Right.
Stop. It wasn't predictable to me, and it wasn't predictable to other people.
But also predictable.
You kind of get a taste of it as it's coming, but then that's like the final. Marty Supreme does not get it. He does not think that even for a second. He never suspects that other people are going to pull a fast one on him, but he's doing it to everyone left and right without thinking about how it affects them. And then you have this foil of a character who he thinks he's the one who's smart and having everything set up and be like manufactured and planned, and realizing that someone else who's along with him this whole journey is doing the exact same thing. And then you also see how she then sends him further, that it gets way crazier once she's like along his side. That's when, people start dying and stuff. And it just, I don't know. I think it's the story, and I think it's what you're critiquing, Joe, but did you have much like, what all I'm doing right now is kind of defending the story of it.
Mhm.
But I feel like the cinematography was amazing. I thought it was so
I talked about that earlier when we talked about director.
Yeah.
It's very
the acting, incredible. The pacing, I think, was part of what the feel is. You're supposed to feel how chaotic and unrested it is. Like they don't have a minute to lay down. He's constantly going from one thing to another for his own means. So I think the pacing served a purpose. It did have like unrelenting.
I think my issue with the pacing when I say that is that it's not that I disagree with what you're saying. It's that even though he has to go from one thing to another and it's constantly changing, it felt like forever and so dragged out. Like I was like, just get on with it. Get to the point.
But everything's like so fun because it's so different. It's like,
I disagree.
Oh, what about the dog? What about the dog? Oh, no. It's like, it kept being, it wasn't like the same thing over and over. So I think it wouldn't get, again, it was your experience that you got like maybe bored or you felt like it was dragging on.
Mhm.
I feel like because it had that constantly changing, even though some sections of the movie were probably like 10 minutes long, in my head, they were like 30 seconds. It's like, oh, he's running from the police. He's like running from these people. Oh my God. And at the end, he finally realizes that all that matters is like how he feels about things, sacrifices everything, and then at the end he returns and sees the baby. I would have liked it if he returned and then he wasn't allowed back into her life. I would have liked if there was at the end some like, well, he squandered it. He's finally changed and finally realized, and somehow that's like displayed, but he can't have it.
I don't think that ending is
in
earned.
squalor and despair.
I don't think the ending is earned.
Yeah,
it's not earned. He doesn't learn properly. His character isn't developed, and then he just like gets to go on like being this father, like and we're supposed to believe that he's changed. Like I don't believe that he's changed. That ending is not earned.
It's symbolic. It's a story. It's a fantasy. It's not like it's not meant to be realistic. He's playing like table tennis. But what I'm saying is I do wish that was the only difference, that he didn't actually get to father this child. But it's at the end when he sacrifices the money and the respect, the chance to ever go on in ping pong, and it shows the different people's faces that he knows he's letting down, just so that he knows in his heart that he's like won. Like he just proved the entire time. It's like he's kind of trying to prove it to himself, but it's internalized. But it's he's outwardly seeing it because he doesn't recognize that that's what it is. He thinks he's out for success and money and all this, but he's not, because you constantly see him make choices against these things. Then at the end, he finally recognizes that it's for himself and sacrifices all of this for himself. And then when he returns home, I do wish there was more there showing him being more like regretful or something, or remorseful, but he still kind of is a narcissistic asshole at the end. Like it isn't like, oh, suddenly he's a good person and forgiven. No, it's just showing his character, that he now understands himself better. Not that he's suddenly never going to do no wrong any again. Like he's probably going to still do evil things. But I think your critique is mainly with the story. I think everything else, you cannot deny how strong like everything else was.
And I did not deny, and I said that's what makes the movie watchable. Otherwise, it would have been unwatchable. I do want to say, sorry, go ahead, Evan. You go, because I want my last point to be kind of what ends this conversation. So go ahead.
Okay. To defend the predictability on this, I think that so many different things happened that if you threw spaghetti on the wall with predictions, some of it will stick.
That's fair.
That there were so many things that I thought were going to have a comeback. I thought there's going to be something big going on with these ping pong balls that he did. What a total misdirection on that. I thought so many times, like with this dog, I didn't know what would be going on. So even if in a more traditional movie with one main plot point, you weren't able to predict that one. I thought this one just had so many different plot points that like I thought, okay, this is going to be the main plot point. This is going to be the main plot point. To be honest, I was fooled. I thought the ping pong balls were going to be a main plot point.
I also did believe that as well.
Kept showing you like Chekhov's gun or whatever, but then at the end you ended up with like an arsenal. Like it never, being like, oh, this is the thing. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna say no, like, and I will say, like, to also like just go back on the point, like, a movie being predictable does not ruin it for me. I think the reason why I personally bring it up so much if I do predict something is that I just, as an audience member, would like to be surprised. I would like there to be a twist that I don't see coming. And I think that that's just a personal preference of mine, but that doesn't overall ruin a movie for me. Like Begonia is in my top 3, and I was like, yeah, I figured she was an alien, and that was the whole thing.
So, sorry, I have more to say about this movie. Do you still want your thing to be the last thing said?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay. What was I going to say? Well, first off, I'm going to say I don't think you actually do like being surprised, because all of your favorite movies are not that type of movie. But what I was going to say about this being unpredictable, maybe you can kind of guess what's immediately about to happen, but it was incredibly chaotic, the storyline. So the idea is you maybe know what's immediately about to happen, but if you're watching it at the beginning, you go, yeah, and then when they're trying to rescue the dog, a shootout happens. Someone goes, shootout? Who are these people? What dog? Why? How? Like, you could not guess more than an act ahead. You can guess what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, maybe, but it just too many tangents that it just would go so far. So I feel like you cannot really say this movie's predictable, because you never thought that 2 scenes ahead that was going to happen, because it's just such random crazy things that are like nesting further into each other and further away. And I also want to compliment this movie. Another thing about the casting, forget his name, but like the Japanese ping pong player in it who is deaf, he's a real ping pong player that's deaf. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's cool. That's a great. I'm sure the ping pong community is real happy about that.
That is cool. I will just say, just to challenge the whole my favorite movies aren't movies with twists, my second favorite movie of all time is literally a murder mystery with multiple twists. It's Clue, and it's fantastic. And
talk about predictable, buddy. Whatever.
It's not a predictable movie. It's only predictable now because it's set up so much for what came after. We're not arguing.
I saw coming. I'm just saying that.
We're not. Okay. There's 3 different endings. You tell me you saw every single third and every one of the 3 endings coming.
Yeah.
Now that these 4 white people have talked about Marty Supreme, I feel like that one's probably who should be talking about Marty Supreme.
Okay, so the last thing I want to say on Marty Supreme is I was, as I said, very much did not get it. And when I don't get something, or even when I do get something, no one knows this from watching Eddington. I love to scroll Letterboxd reviews and just see what other people are saying. That's one of my favorite things lately after seeing a movie, is just to like see what other people are saying about this. And like, am I missing something? And also sitting with that afterwards has kind of also helped me come around on things that I might have been a bit more harsh on in the beginning on an initial. I'm a very initial reaction type person after seeing it. And I came across a review that not only did I, except for there's one part in this review where the person says, I typically like movies that everyone likes. I know that's not me. So that one sentence aside in this review, I agreed with wholeheartedly. And I think it gets down to what I think the issue is here. And so I'm just going to read that review quickly. Just a note, this is a review from a popular person in pop culture. This is a review from someone who is well-known in Hollywood. They're not like an A-list star at the Oscars, but they are very well-known. And so I'm going to read that right now, which was... No. I was totally...
JD Vance, this review. It's crazy.
It's not... I was totally bought in, having loved the marketing for this, so I walked in with high expectations, and there's a lot to like. Excellent performances throughout, well-crafted, intense, quintessential Safdie scenes, delightfully surprising cameos that work every time, plenty of laugh-out-loud moments, great music. But something about it just didn't land for me. The aesthetics and the components were all there, but I was left not with a feeling of wanting something from Marty, but more just a wanting for it to end. It was like a recipe that includes a lot of your favorite ingredients, but then you taste it and realize it just didn't come together. I'm not a contrarian by any means. I typically like movies that everyone likes. I don't know why I'm getting defensive about not liking this movie, but I think it might be because I fear it says something about me that I don't want to acknowledge. I have a feeling that I would have loved this at age 20, and I think that might be the point. My kids love it, and I think it captures the chaos in a way only the Safdies can, and maybe I'm just too old for this shit. And I think that's the issue, guys, is that even though I'm 26, I have been an old person for far too long. We've made tons of jokes about it, but I legitimately think I don't have the young mindset to like this movie.
And that
You've lost your
reviewer-
spark. You've no
I
ambition
truly
left.
have. Yeah,
And that
I think
reviewer,
that's the problem.
Chuck Schumer.
That reviewer is Rhett McLaughlin of Rhett and Link.
Whoa, yeah, I wouldn't
Okay,
know.
yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
he really
Everyone
likes
gets
like
that.
I bet he really likes like The Breakfast Club. I bet he really likes he's
Rhett's
a guy to like
fourth-
pop country music, Marvel movies. So I don't know if I would really look to him for like a
Rhett's 4 favorites on Letterboxd are Pulp Fiction, The Big Lebowski, The Princess Bride, and Spirited Away.
what I was just saying, bro, but in different. Okay, well, that's exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
the
Okay.
Pulp Fiction review.
Pulp Fiction being first is wild too. That was funny. That's real. That's what you actually read,
Yeah.
or were you playing off my?
No,
head?
I swear to God, that's his 4 favorites on
I'm
Letterboxd.
sorry, Rhett McLaughlin. I don't think. I mean, he's got more money than I'll ever have, so I think I can hate on him. What's he gonna do?
But yeah, no. But I
He's
just found
gonna
myself
tweet
very
at
much
us.
agreeing with Rhett's opinions on that. And so I was like, I think the issue legitimately is that I am too old inside, like, and truly my joy and love for life is gone. And I cannot appreciate this movie. I do know that I'm in the minority, and I do believe, I know I will literally stand so strong on my opinions on a movie because of A, the pushback I've gotten here today, and just B, like the general pushback online, and that I do, as started my video said, like, I don't get it. I am missing something. I do believe I'm wrong about this movie, guys. I will legitimately say, I think I'm wrong about Marty Supreme, but I just cannot like it. And I'm sorry, but at the same time, I just don't like it.
I will say, feeling too old for like this movie has nothing to do with age. Like, I feel like being an old head is independent of age.
Definitely.
You know, that's why I said, oh, he probably likes these things, with kind of like an old head type of thing. To be like, I think it's about your outlook on life, and I don't like turning it into it about age to be like, well, young people have more vigor or they have more willing to take risks or whatever. Because I feel like as an older person, you can look at it and be like, that totally is a characteristic or a part of me or something I feel
That's
like
fair.
the drive to be ambitious, but I see the issues and you see the like, I don't know. Anyways, I know this, we'll move on from Marty Supreme. I liked it is what I'm saying. It was probably my favorite
I
movie of the
wish
year,
I liked it.
but no other choice actually might be my favorite movie of the year. But I feel like this one is going to have the best like lasting power out of all the movies of this
Longevity.
year. I think incredibly cultural significant. My jacket's coming in the mail. My Marty Supreme jacket's coming in the mail soon. And also, sorry to Rhett McLaughlin. I am trying to start a Twitter beef with him, though. So I think that's a good first step, isn't it? Sorry, an X beef.
An X beef.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wish I liked Marty Supreme. I really do. But I think Chalamet's amazing, and I can totally see him taking home the Best Actor Oscar. Let's move on. We've got 2 movies left, friends. Frankenstein. I think I've said my piece on this, but I just don't care. I don't think it should be. That's it. That's all.
I mean, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
sorry, go
it, but I liked it, and I mentioned that I think Guillermo should be. I don't, I would have liked to see Guillermo, Best Director, but I don't.
Yeah.
The movie was good. I enjoyed it, but it's fine. It was. I don't think it was anything special by any means.
Now, I think it is nominated. I think Jacob Elordi is nominated for Best
As he
Supporting
should.
Actor. Like, that is deserved, and like I think the whole culture has kind of turned around on him. That everyone kind of thought, oh, he's like a pretty boy. What's he doing in Hollywood? But he's kind of really shown his range and kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like you're watching Jacob Elordi. I think he did really good in that. I don't think he'll get the win for that, but I think it's definitely like he deserved that nomination. I think it's also nominated for costumes, which I think is great. I think that's I think there was a lot of thought into all the costumes, down to like Elizabeth's, like the reference to the Bride of Frankenstein on her arms, because her character is kind of like a mix of different characters, Bride of Frankenstein being one of them. I'm not sure if it's nominated for makeup, but it totally could be.
I would think it is. It is the big makeup movie of the year.
On makeup, someone I was shocked wasn't nominated.
It is for makeup.
Marty Supreme. No, like a side note, Marty Supreme wasn't nominated for makeup. That I was surprised about. So, watching the movie, I thought that was Timothée Chalamet's real skin. He's got acne and acne scars. I've never seen like fake skin that looks that realistic. That I was like, oh my God, I actually like Timothy Chalamet now. Like, he's just like me. Oh my God, I love that there's like an actor that has imperfect skin and they're showing it close up, and it wasn't real. Like, it's unbelievable. I can't even imagine how they would do that. Like, and there are a lot of close up shots of his face. But it does totally change the feeling of his character. It makes him seem kind of greasy and slimy. Side note that I was actually blown away by that makeup of the small imperfections on his skin. Anyways.
And last, but certainly not least, before we quickly talk about our snubs to take our episode home, is Begonia. Once again, I feel like I've said all I can say on this. I really, really liked this film. I think it was a lot of fun. I think it very much reinvigorated a like for Yorgos. It makes me want to see more, but also kind of go back and rewatch the ones I didn't like. I was very, very big on the performances. Emma Stone was fantastic. I think Jesse, I believe it's Jesse Plemons is the name of the main actor. He is snubbed for leading or supporting actor. However, that would probably be done. But yeah, everyone. Sorry.
His wife agrees too.
His
wife again? It is someone, isn't it? Who is it?
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
She's been talking about it a bunch of
really.
Nominated, yeah.
Aww,
yeah,
that's sweet though.
He's so good. Everyone in the film is so good. I had a blast watching it, and yeah, I think out of all of the movies on this list, I think it's the movie I enjoyed watching the most, and I think my favorite from this list. I do have movies that I think were a little bit better that I will get into in my snubs category, but I think out of this list of these 10, Begonia is at the top for me personally, and that's where I land.
Another note in the Begonia casting that we didn't talk about earlier is the other, like, the most supporting, actor, the other guy. He was great too, and he actually, like, I do appreciate
he
when
played the
Hollywood,
brother?
like, yeah,
the
cousin or
sorry.
something.
Yeah, the cousin.
That he actually is autistic in real life. I think that, like, I like that. I do feel like Yorgos is one of those people who's like, casts more real people, like Stavros being in there. Come on, we're getting actual big actors and not people in fat suits. Like, that actually is a huge step because that's something that they just do not do anymore. He's bald for real. He's bald and fat. We need more of that in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
So, like, having that and having people with like actual disabilities. Oh, I appreciate that, and he did a really great job. And that was a breakout acting. Like, he does. I looked it up. He looks like he does like plays and kind of more local indie stuff. His first kind of like major film breakout. I like when it's major roles are given to like smaller new actors to give them a chance. And also I think Emma Stone was great in it.
Yeah. And if I can touch on that, I really liked how well written the role seemed to be, that it couldn't have been played by someone who wasn't autistic, that it was like a very integral part of the story, the entire story. One of the big plot points revolves around the relationship, like the kind of co-independence relationship that he has with Jesse Plemons. And I just think that that was really cool that Yorgos had that in this story. And I thought it was a really well done job of it, that he's seen as both having this kind of dependency upon Jesse Plemons, but a big part of the story as well is how he differs from him, how he is independent. So I thought it was just really good writing for having a character like that.
Yeah, I like having characters with autism or something where like that's not what their character is. Like they are, but it's also not like, oh well, they're this in spite of that. Like, I don't know. I think small things like that I like when they're just casually in films because they're casually in life. Like, that's just how things are. Stavros snubbed for best supporting actor though.
But debut. I know he's been in stuff. But
Debut.
What has he been in?
Sweethearts, which is an underrated movie. Sweethearts.
Caleb Heron's movie, isn't it?
Caleb Heron is in it. Yes.
Yeah,
I love
it. I liked him too.
Also, on my board for next year, I think that's when it's being released. Indie movie of the year, I think, is going to be Trash Mountain, written by Caleb Heron.
That's him. Yeah.
Very
excited
excited
for that too. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
On my board, indie movie of the year, Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. Going to be a very Toronto movie, so close to my heart for it. But
I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is interesting." Like, I was very I don't really get what it's about yet, but
it's about Nirvana the band, the show, but it's a movie.
Yeah.
But the clips are just them trying to jump off the CN Tower.
Yeah.
Watch the show. Nirvana the band, the show. This is the movie.
Yeah,
I have
and
no idea what you guys are. Guys, I'm even more confused than I was at the beginning.
There's a show
Uh-huh.
called Nirvana the Band the Show.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the movie for the
Gotcha.
show.
yeah.
Okay.
And for the Frankfurters and Berliners out there that are listening, it won't be very relevant to you, but it's an incredibly Toronto, Canada movie. So an indie movie about Toronto, not just set in there. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate that a lot of the places that are seen are going to be just right next door to me.
Toronto's
done.
kind of like Berlin too, though. You know, like they got Berghain, we got that McDonald's on Queen and Spadina. What's the
Spadina
difference?
McDonald's, Jesus.
pizza.
People dress the same at those two places, by the way. I'm just
The
saying.
pizza from Scott Pilgrim.
I don't know which piece of pizza that is.
There's a pizza. It's in. Is it not in Mississauga?
I think it's in Etobicoke, actually.
Like it's in Etobicoke. Yeah, it's outside of
It's kind
Toronto,
of Toronto.
technically. Yeah. But we had a whole talk about this on our B movies episode with Mike Pollock. But yeah, no, anything you want to say about Begonia? I don't think you saw it, but
Didn't see it.
okay.
Got Stobbies in it. I will share my shame that I don't think I've ever watched a Yorgos movie.
Did you not? No, you didn't come with me to the favorite. We just talked about it.
Every year I mean to see it and then I don't.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a shame I have. I was quite mad that Emma Stone won that Oscar though. I
Favorite?
No, not the favorite. Poor Things.
That's a controversial opinion, I think.
And it's purely because of I'm part Indigenous, so I was really hoping for Lily.
Yeah.
So I was quite upset, but I mean I like Emma Stone. I'm not gonna be upset that way, but Jamie went down in a state of shock.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, it looks like she's coming back another way. She's trying to get back in. Oh, she's on her phone now.
My
That's really
laptop
funny.
died, guys. I'm actually devastated. I hope it's fixable.
Well,
but
that's
it's not.
That's okay. We're almost at the end here. Let's talk about our snubs really quickly, guys. I'll just go over this nice and fast. I've got 3 snubs. My first one is Mickey 17. It is not Bong Joon-ho's best film by far. I do acknowledge that. I, however, did really enjoy it, and I think it's better than F1, and it should replace F1 on that list. That is my opinion there.
The reason Mickey 17 isn't there for either that I think, well, I don't know about the Academy. They seem like they would love it. Is they had the 2 worst movie characters of the year. Those villains were unbearable and not in a good way. Mark Ruffalo is atrocious in that movie.
I didn't hate him that much in that. I understand people's point of view, but I didn't hate him that much as
He's
people have.
absolute. It's just a bad Trump impression the entire time. It's fucking garbage.
It's hilarious.
But love the movie.
Love the movie.
It is crazy when you look at like when it was filmed to when it came out, and like what they're talking about in there weren't Trump talking points at the time, but when it came out, it was. I thought that like over the top, ridiculous. It's corny how he's like evil dictator. He's a caricature. I feel like that was on purpose. I feel like this movie was too silly to be nominated for these things because I feel like it was too. I feel like it's so campy. I feel like everything is so campy. Down to like Robert Pattinson's voice in it, the difference between them being like, he's my evil version of me.
Great.
I'm the good version of me.
In it.
And these cartoonish villains, like I feel like that was intentional, and I actually liked that it was just so corny and like I found it was very campy, and the Oscars do not like camp. They don't get it.
No.
So
Unfortunately it fell a little short of camp for me. It's stuck in that in between where it's not quite campy enough. Yeah, it's just I don't know. And unfortunately, I really like the rest of the movie. I love that it's a little guy movie. Nobody told me that going in.
Yeah.
I think best little guy of the year. The slug.
They look like little like water bears, the little like tardigrades.
Yeah.
I wish we had those. And they
best little guy of the year.
I like them too. There's like a big mom one.
Just worst villain.
Rental Family is Brendan Fraser's latest film. I really enjoyed it. It's a movie with a lot of heart. It was my favorite feel-good movie of the year. It's just solid story, human emotion, really, really well done. Great international performances as well too. I just, really, really enjoyed that film, and it was one of my favorites of watching this year. And I would put it above a bunch of movies on this list for me personally. Amy, go ahead.
So I think this is part of a bigger plan, how this was snubbed, you're saying. I didn't even know about this movie. We need to do about 10 or 15 years of the movies Brendan Fraser is in, flopping, being snubbed, being looked down upon, because then he'll have another comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Will. And I'll get another standing ovation. People be like, wow, it's so great that he came back. In order for that to happen again, we need to just
He has to keep being,
he needs to flop for like a decade. Yeah. So I
Poor
think
Brendan
that's
Fraser.
what's happening. They just want that to happen again. Yeah.
And then my number one snub, which I do believe belongs on here, is a movie called The Life of Chuck. For those that don't know, The Life of Chuck premiered alongside Anora last year. Neon bought the rights to both movies. Both movies were frontrunners for awards. And because of that, Neon decided to put one out in 2024 for consideration and one out in 2025 to expand their awards buzz. The issue with Life of Chuck is that for some reason, Neon decided to give it a July release, completely outside of award season, making it essentially fall off of everybody's radar. And it wasn't culturally significant enough, like Everything Everywhere All at Once or Dune, to hold that momentum for the entire year. But Life of Chuck was exceptionally well done. Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill, Jacob Tremblay, all absolutely fantastic in it. A great script that is expanded from a Stephen King novella. It legitimately moved me. I thought there were so many great themes. It's an interesting way to tell a story completely in reverse. Not that hasn't been done before, but just the way they did it with these 3 different acts, I really appreciated and liked, and especially because they were each very contained as well too. It's not something like Memento where you're running between different scenes and characters. They are very contained moments. But yeah, I absolutely love The Life of Chuck. I think for me personally, it is my number one movie that I enjoyed the most this year. And I wish Neon just handled it better. And so it did get the buzz that it deserves. I don't think it would have won Best Picture just with other movies out there, especially with the press Marty Supreme and One Battle After Another are getting. But I do believe it belonged in this conversation this year. And I'm upset that it's not.
Wasn't there another Stephen King adaptation?
The Long Mile or The Long
Walk?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I meant to see it, but wasn't it good? I guess that didn't get any. I thought people really liked it.
There was 2.
Yeah.
The Long Walk, which people really liked. That was apparently like pretty stressful. It's got what's his name, Seymour Hoffman, but not the Philip variety.
Oh, Cooper Hoffman.
And that one was apparently pretty good and well received. And then there was The Running Man, which is the one that I saw in theaters. And that one is like a fun, action movie, action, thriller for the first 2 acts. And then the third act just off a cliff garbage. Just an unwatchable mess, that third act. But and that's got Glenn Powell and Coleman Domingo, which that was sad.
Coleman Domingo is so snubbed. My God, he's so.
I went back. I think it was this year that I watched. Is it? Yeah, because Sing Sing was nominated last year, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That was a fantastic movie. Why didn't I watch that sooner? But one thing I'm thankful for, this man has made a lot of movies I like, and I don't understand why I dislike him so much. I shouldn't. I enjoy probably the majority of his movies. I'm so glad we got no Christopher Nolan this year. I'm sick of that.
Yeah. No, the Odyssey next year is going to be insufferable, guys. It is going to be insufferable.
That's going to be the sweep, I think.
Everyone's going to love it, but it's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good adaptation, and it's going to be so Nolanified.
How many times are you going to see people call it the modern Ben-Hur?
Place your bets. We'll be back in a year to tally that up.
Oh God, that's gonna suck.
No, ass. I'm not looking forward to the
movie,
Odyssey.
Just everything around it. Movie will probably be.
It's how I feel about Oppenheimer.
7 out of 10.
Oppenheimer was good, but it wasn't his best work, and I don't think it deserved Best Picture. Actually, Katie puts it the best way, I think, where she's like, the first half of that movie is just assembling the Avengers of physics in the most lame way possible. It's just a montage of them going to different physicists and being like, you want to join our thing? And they're like, yeah, it's
From a math perspective too, it really is just let's throw as many names in there as we can. Randomly, Gordell is there, and it's Einstein is yeah, and he hasn't eaten since his wife died. What are we talking about? I was gonna say, has it been long enough we can finally say that was not a good movie?
Oppenheimer
not a good
was just okay. I've been saying this since the beginning.
Had, and I can't believe people hyped it up so much. Like I can't.
You want to talk
believe
about a
people
movie
are
that
still,
insists upon itself?
Okay, that was I actually low key. I'm gonna start watching that movie over again because like that was so actually hilarious. I don't know.
Was that
Incredible.
2025 or 2024 for
I think
Megalopolis?
I feel like it was 2024. It feels like it was a long time ago, but it might have just been last year. But I've like blocked it out of my memory.
Yeah, I don't
know.
remember when
Yeah.
exactly it was.
Yeah.
Friendship snubbed.
Friendship is an amazing comedy, an amazing thriller.
Yeah.
So much fun. I wish the Academy would go back to recognizing comedies. I did a little bit of research for a different thing I was working on, and I went back and I looked at every Oscar winner and like nominee for Best Picture from 1999 until last year. And there were used to be in the early 2000s so many great and smart comedies that would get recognition, and now nothing. And I wish we could go back and give
Wait.
comedy some more recognition.
Can you just give an example or two?
I have an
Comedies
entire
nominated?
presentation on this.
Whoa.
I can.
Was that your
Give you-
PowerPoint presentation you did for
This
your?
was my- yeah,
Joe
so-
got the Google Slides going.
I do. No, so for New
Oh.
Year's, we always have a PowerPoint presentation party. But yeah.
I got drunk. Loser.
Okay.
I was sleeping. I think I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, so just bringing this up, there's a movie from 2001 called Gosford Park. It's a satirical black comedy murder mystery. Very fun, very well done. That was nominated back for the 2001 Academy Award.
Talk about satirical black comedies. No other choice. I'm still not over that it's snubbed. Like that. Come on. What's going on? That's actually. That I can't. I
You
still can't
cut
believe
out
it.
there. We have no idea what movie you said.
I heard it.
Yes.
No other choice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. But okay, no other choice. Yeah.
Wait, another snub. That Primate movie.
Primate. Yeah.
Right, that came
Did
out
that-
in like Christmas, I think.
It fell into the Nosferatu hole.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
Similar
the
quality.
marketing for that movie, I've never had marketing make me want to see a movie less. I don't know if you guys have been subject to this too, or listeners have, but like, just everywhere I kept getting ads for this movie before every single YouTube video, between every single like scroll. I just kept getting it, and it looked so bad. You can't make me hate chimps, bro. You cannot do it.
Nah,
No.
Monkey reigns supreme.
And Loki, like, it was already done in film in the.
You know what would
No.
get me? You know what would get me to go see Marty Supreme?
If it was a
Monkeys.
monkey, if Marty Supreme was a monkey. Wait,
Monkey Supreme.
Monkey
imagine
Supreme.
if he was like a chimp or like
Oh.
a capuchin, like a little monkey doing
Or
ping
like
pong,
Or like
leading his pregnant girl.
the Robbie
man.
Williams biopic.
Yeah,
where you just-
Mustang or something.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot about that. totally forgot
they
about
need
that.
to let me make movies. They'll all
They
be
should've-
monkeys.
If they used a monkey and not an ape for that, I think it would have been way different.
Yeah.
Whoever, I don't even know who that guy is. He's just the
He's
guy who
apparently
wishes he
like
was
a
monkey.
British pop star.
I guess he's huge in the UK. Fair.
Yeah.
Then don't advertise the movie over here.
Yeah, I know
Leave
some
us
people in the
alone.
UK that from the UK that did think the movie was great and were like, no, underrated film.
He's pretty big, isn't he? Shut up. Come on, what are we doing? I don't know. Sorry to be mean. I take it.
Um,
back. I
No,
don't
no,
want-
I think we can be mean to the British. They had quite a few decades of being on top.
Yeah.
We could take them
This
down.
is true. That's true.
If I can bring up one honorable
Yeah.
mention movie, not for any sort of Oscar, but another solid one that I saw, Wake Up Dead Man. The
No,
Yeah.
no.
Absolutely.
No.
I thought they just keep
What?
on pumping it. Okay, the second one there was not memorable, but this one was a super fun time.
Yeah.
A lot of
It's a good
engaging
plot.
jokes. If you saw it,
I
you didn't
think
predict
this was the best Knives Out movie. I think this was the best
Sure.
one and the one that I enjoyed the most. Still fuck them. Nope. I'm still
Why?
no.
Just because it wasn't good?
Do we
Not.
do we want to talk about Knives Out again on this show?
Did
Okay,
we talk
once again,
about it? Oh, the first two.
we
sure.
talked about the first two, and I feel like Noah doesn't want me to keep talking about them.
You can.
But
you can.
Is
I
it
mean,
because
I
you
like
saw
them.
the ending coming? Is it because you saw
It's-
the ending coming?
it's not because I saw the ending coming. However, I will say, if you, and I've said this about all of them, they're all based off of very obvious Agatha Christie books, which Ryan Johnson does not hide. Okay, so I'm not like
Okay.
like he does not hide in the movies. He references Agatha Christie, and that's why they are adapted
Nice.
screenplays when they are nominated. They are based off of Agatha Christie books. So if you know the Agatha Christie book, and I have read a lot of Agatha Christie, you know, and you can piece together what's happening pretty quickly and easily on. My issue with the Knives Out movies is that I feel like it's not doing anything different or interesting in the realm of whodunit, and I really like whodunits, and that's where I kind of get a little annoyed with them. I also feel as well too that it's just drawn out a lot. They're so overly long. A whodunit, I think, can easily be 90 to maybe 120 minutes, but you can really fit in that 90 minutes. I don't need all of this stuff. I thought, though, that this one had the best performances and definitely the best story, but though, like, it takes 40 minutes before Benoit Blanc shows up, guys. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
2.5
I hate
hours.
character development.
2.5
No.
hours.
No. Okay,
Okay,
I
no.
got 2 points about this because I feel very strongly about it. The Knives Out movies are murder mysteries, not whodunits, and there's a difference. There is an aspect of whodunit, but it's not structured the way a whodunit is because it puts all of the emphasis on one of the suspects. And here's the big thing, Joe. Benoit Blanc's not the main character of those movies, and he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
He's not. The main character of the first one is oh god, what's her name?
Yeah, she's the housemaid.
Yeah,
the
she's the main character of
Yeah.
the first one. Josh O'Connor is the main character of this one. Josh O'Connor. Yeah, I get my Josh's mixed up. Josh O'Connor is the main character of this one. Janelle Monáe is the main character of the second one. Benoit Blanc is the supporting character. And he undergoes the character, like, you see how his character grows, but the emphasis on who the character in the story is about is never him. And that's why they're a fun way of doing this murder mystery. And that's also why they're a murder mystery and not a whodunit.
I think he's also very camp, the character. I feel like
Absolutely.
it's fun.
I hate
Also-
that accent.
Yeah.
He
That accent.
looks
It's funny. I don't know. It's
He
whatever.
looks
Okay.
so good in this one. The longer hair, the double button jacket. I think they finally nailed the style for him.
I will say a big point towards this movie is the way it handled religion and Catholicism, that it critiqued it, but it was respectful and like acknowledged the value it gives to people, and it kind of shows you this character who's at odds with prominent parts of the church, but his value in it. And I really appreciated how he had that phone call with the random lady about like showing what his value is.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you have like a random side character that has such a big part. Like I don't know. I thought that was pretty good, but it still like had a strong critique about how the church views women and how it like helps people when it's actually doing the opposite. But it still was like, well, that's not what it's meant to be and what it always is. I'm not really religious. I'm not religious, period, actually, at all. Whatever. But I'm like, okay, I do appreciate how it's like not taking purely one side or the other. So it's more of like a true take on it from like looking at it from both sides. And I'm sure Catholic people watched it and were like, thank you or whatever. I thought the acting was really good. I really like Josh O'Connor, but I feel like Mila Kunis, it was like it took me out of it. It was crazy. She was like, you know, like in Scary Movie, and there's the sheriff that keeps getting the bigger hat. I wouldn't be surprised if that bit started going on.
Horrendous in it.
It was
Absolutely
crazy.
horrendous.
And it's like, what is she doing? Is that just like, was it?
They're
written
going
like
through
that?
stars
What's
too
going
quickly for the
on?
Knives Out movies.
It was like Gal Gadot levels.
Yeah, it was very bizarre.
Um,
That's really the only thing that I was like, what? It really kind of feels too, I don't know. Go ahead.
A movie I really enjoyed that I would like to shout out. I know I shouted out Friendship, and I know we've been going for a while, but Superman.
Superman was so
a
good.
Very good feel-good movie.
And great comic book adaptation, lots of fun. Great
I really
start
enjoyed
to a new universe. Yeah, no, agree.
I think it's a great new direction for like comic movies. I'm not a big comic movie person, but for it to be more of like the theme that the comics actually are, like Superman. His name's Superman, bro. Like he's kind of like, I'm a good person and be nice to people, and it is supposed to be family oriented, child oriented, and so DC especially has been like trying to be super edgy and kind of like missing because that's not what's going on. Of course, Batman's an exception. That's why that movie was that movie, but I feel like it's such a good direction, and I hope it keeps going in that direction. And even though it's woke, even though it's woke to be nice to people or whatever, like, hey, be nice to people. Woke propaganda to like have empathy or something.
I mean, that's even like where they had the after the movie came out, and everybody was like, how dare you say those things about Israel? It's like, it didn't say anything about Israel.
Yeah,
that's weird that you saw yourself in that country.
Yeah. But it was shot brightly, beautifully. It was a great tonal shift, and I like that about James Gunn's DCU. Like the Clayface movie is a practical effects horror film, like, and it's going to be R-rated. Like there are going to be different tones in this, like there are in comic books. That's the biggest thing. The last 5 years of the MCU has been the same campy bullshit that we're all sick of, and if we're shouting out though, one more movie I want to shout out, and this is not like Oscar nominated, but I just want to shout out this movie. Vince Vaughn did a movie for Netflix called Nonas, based on a true story. And it's not a comedy. It is Vince Vaughn doing a drama. It is extremely heartfelt. It is an extremely well-written script. All of the performances are absolutely fantastic. This was another movie that I really, really dug this year that took me completely by surprise. And that I just really recommend to a lot of people, where like if you've got a group, like a family thing, or like a group of friends together, and you're just looking for something nice to watch together that you'll get like some chuckles and laughs out of, but like something that is just genuinely like a nice, good watch, put on Nonas. It's really, really great. It's a very inspiring story, and I was blown away at just Vince Vaughn doing something where he's not the goofy, campy sidekick or goofy, campy guy you fall in love with. Like he is very much like, it's a dramatic role where he's wearing his heart on his sleeve in this role with a purpose. And he does have a love interest in it, played by Linda Carlini, who is also fantastic. But like, it's very, very good. And I cannot stress enough that you should watch this movie. It's very good.
Huge snub that I just remembered came out this past year. Wait, I think the Minecraft movie.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
The Minecraft movie? Come on.
I gave that movie 2 stars, I think.
I didn't see it, bro. I'm waiting for, like, it's gonna be the last thing I do in this life. Waiting till I'm on my deathbed. I'll be like, today, the Minecraft movie. Anyways.
Did anybody notice in the Minecraft movie how painfully obvious the Jeep product placement was? Like, it's fucking everywhere.
It's been in a lot of movies recently, like painfully obvious.
And the first 20 minutes of that movie is just nothing but the heaviest exposition I think I've ever seen in a film. Holy fuck.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was trying to be anything more than a product. I don't think we need to go for another 10 minutes on the Minecraft
movie. No, we need to. No, alrighty. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I think this is going to be close to 3 hours this episode, which is kind of nuts. But it is great to be back.
Joe, we'll have to edit out all the slurs you kept saying.
Yeah, Joe, I just
don't insinuate that.
If you guys watched the episode and didn't hear a slur, it's because Joe covered his tracks. He said those things and won't even stand by them.
I can't.
Also, he dialed JD Vance at one point.
Why is this trying to ruin me? Like,
what you were saying about women was disgusting, man. Disgusting. I think women are people. I believe women.
Evan, Evan, you were our guest. You didn't even get to say "shut up, Joe." Like, do you want to throw something in there right now, or?
I just hope. I know there are a lot of movies coming out in 2026. One takeaway I had this year, living in Toronto, I got to go to TIFF, so I got a sneak peek at some of the stuff coming out next year. I hope that maybe sometime in the next year I get to come back and discuss some of these movies. If not, then maybe I'll be recast by Chris Pratt or something, and that'll be an interesting storyline.
Is the TFCC movie Chris Pratt just playing every single role?
Yeah, it's like Sinners.
Yeah.
No, Joe, you're going to be played by Salma Hayek. I said this earlier.
That's
right? I think so.
Yeah,
why is Salma Hayek playing me? Like,
I don't know. You guys might be the same height.
Well, because Quentin Tarantino puts your toes in his mouth at one point, so we have to.
All right, yeah. Wait, Quentin Tarantino plays my sister. Right.
Thank you all so much for joining us for our 6th season of 21st Century Cinema. This was the premiere, sadly. If you're just finding us, go back and watch some of our great things. I'm really upset Noah didn't name Pia Sadora's IMDb this year, but maybe we'll do it in 2026. Evan, thank you so much for joining us. We'll, of course, have you back, mostly because Jamie has a controlling say in this podcast, so we have to... but no, you've been a delight. So many great opinions and conversations, and you weren't as mean to me as the other two were, which is really nice as well. Evan, speaking of which, we do also give our guests the opportunity to plug anything they want to plug. So is there anything you've got going on you want to talk about? I hear you might be in a band with a fun name.
Yeah, and pretty big, I think, in Germany as well for all the German fans that are listening. But I'm in a band called Wiener Kebab. Try spelling that with all the different variations of the two words there. But we make cool music. It's like we've been called cowpunk. We're trying to go into some different alternative rock genres, putting some metal in there. But we just played a show at a place called the Rivoli. I was talking about Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, and that's all about getting to play a show at the Rivoli. And an interesting tidbit:
Oh.
the lead guy from that show, or one of the lead guys, Jay McCarroll, he was at the show there. So pretty interesting to see him in his natural environment. But check out on all streaming platforms, Wiener Kebab.
At the very
World
least, Evan,
takeover.
you will get one new listener out of this, and it's going to be Noah. I can almost guarantee
Hell
you.
yeah.
When you start talking about your music, Noah's face was lighting up. Like,
Absolutely. That sounds wicked. I've already become a big Blossom fan. Oh, man. Absolutely.
Noah,
I'm
did you listen to the
definitely-
new Blossom stuff?
I haven't yet. I've been on a
New
podcast
album
yet,
soon.
but
New
I will
album
be.
soon.
I will be listening. Oh hell yeah!
Jamie wrote
Yeah.
one of the songs.
Well, hey, I wrote more than one of the songs.
Okay, sorry.
I wrote all of them actually. There's actually Blossom. It's just I move around really quick, so it looks like there's 5
Multiple
of us.
people. Yeah.
It's just me.
Is there a TFCC theme song?
There is. You'll hear it in the. It's just stock music. But if anyone, I've been saying for years that Blossom should make us a theme song, and Jamie's just
Oh.
never followed up on that.
I don't
Um,
remember you ever saying that to me, but I probably just keep forgetting to be real.
Yeah.
with you.
But we could have a custom theme song. So if Wiener Kebab wants to do it, Evan,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
don't pay much, but we do pay a little.
Exposure,
We
maybe.
do.
We've
Wait,
every
I've never.
no, not to us, but like every piece of graphic design Noah Schaefer has done
Oh,
for us,
yeah,
we've paid him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have a lot of a budget, but we have, and we have supplied like the microphones and everything. Like the podcast.
Yeah,
is paid.
it's it's true.
That comes from
We
my
know-
Patreon donation.
It does. It does. A significant amount of our budget has come from Noah's Patreon donations over the years. The t-shirt sales or sweater sales for all of our merch. I'm wearing some of that right now that you can check out at the links below. And yeah, 2 out of 3 main hosts are wearing the merch today. That shows the commitment to the show, I think.
Sorry, I don't know.
Do you even have, like, legitimately, do you even have a TFCC shirt or sweater?
Yeah, just not at my parents' house, which is
Oh,
where
okay.
I am. Sorry. I was supposed to go out for dinner with someone today, but like that he canceled because he hates me or something.
And we're not a relationship therapy podcast. That's not what we do here.
I'm kidding.
So let's wrap
it's a
this
snow
up.
day today.
Yeah, we have an awful snowstorm. Noah, anything you want to plug?
I'm still trying to do theater if anybody will pay me to do it. So
I
we've
would if I had
applied.
the money.
And Jared, actually, Studio Squidsicle, our production company, still going on. I got a cool jacket that Jared got made for me for Christmas that I would share, but it's downstairs and I can't be bothered. So yeah, I mean, you can follow my socials, Shipwrecked. You know where to follow me. I might accept it. I'm not very active that way. But Sketchfest is coming up that we've applied for, so hopefully we'll be back in there. You can check that out. I no longer do any jobs facing the public, so you can't find me there. I'll shout out a local band I've gotten really into here in Newfoundland, Swimming, Midwest Emo Math Rock. Check them out. Swimming are great.
All right,
Really
Mad
cool
Rock
guy.
or Math Rock?
Math Rock. He uses like different time signatures and stuff like that. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
check them out. They're really cool. That's about it. That's all I got.
And Jamie.
Well, yeah. So as it's been mentioned, I'm in a band that's also we're going more towards math rock. We were kind of math rock and shoegaze, but I feel like we're departing from the shoegaze and going more math rock. Called Blossom on Instagram. That's at Blossom Band. It's spelt weird though. Blossom is spelled BLOSSOM.
It's linked in all the descriptions of our episodes. Every episode has the
conveniently
Blossom
linked in the
hyperlink.
description. We have a website. We're on Spotify. We're on Bandcamp, which is maybe the best way to, I don't know, like listen if you want. New album coming out January 30th. I don't know when this episode's coming out, to be real with you.
This episode is coming out probably legitimately January 29th, this Thursday. So
New album tomorrow, if you're listening when this releases, or new album in the past, old album release.
new album already out.
Maybe, who knows? But that's really exciting. It'll be like everywhere. Well, mostly everywhere. Yeah, and there's this really new, exciting thing going on in America. This new like task force that I was gonna work for.
No,
They
that's
promised me like
no. We
like 50,000 a
guys, we
year,
have
and they
one
give
rule
me
on
a
the
job.
show. There's
What?
one rule to the show.
Yeah,
think
we
that's gonna be
praise
part of it. I think
JD
it's gonna be
Vance on
fine.
this.
I'm like, I'm gonna be stationed in like, I think they said like Minneapolis or something.
Guys,
I'm sorry, is that too far? I'm sorry.
guys. This is the year we get canceled. Like six
We
six
do not
seasons
Not getting
and
Support
canceled.
fascism.
Yeah, exactly.
We do not
Some-
support evil.
Exactly. Fuck ICE. Let's throw them out here. Fuck ICE, Free Palestine.
Yeah.
We got a couple more to do.
House
we're
the
in.
homeless.
Yeah, House
Uh,
Homeless. We're in solidarity with the people of Iran.
Sure.
Yeah, just
Um,
let's do this
See
right.
my boy.
remember when this show didn't have political affiliations? I mean, I agree with everything you've just said, Noah, but the agreement was the show would not have a political affiliation.
Rest in peace, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, well, yeah, Joe's close personal friend.
Jeff,
The financier.
the financier. Yeah.
I think I would have heard if something happened to him. Sorry, guys.
I'm not even going to plug anything. Just, we've been 21st Century Cinema. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us at all of our socials below. But yeah,
There'll
we'll
just
be
be
coming back
more.
with more episodes this year. Monkey episode we want to do. We are going to do a third B-movie episode because you guys really like those B-movie episodes that we've done. So Mike
Isn't it
and
just
Adam,
one though?
There's two.
Isn't it just the B movie? They made a second one with like Seinfeld. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for listening. Who knows how much of this we're going to keep. I didn't say any slurs regardless of what Noah said.
Yeah, well, regardless of what Noah said, but not regardless of what I said.
Happy awards season, everyone.